Good morning. It's 7 a.m. on Thursday, May 11th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 82. Coming up on OTB, presented by All-Star Toyota, LSU baseball coach Jay Johnson joins the show at 9:30. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome in to a brand new edition of Off the Bench. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. That's right, folks. It is Thursday, which can mean only one thing. The weekend is officially here. Let's have ourselves a heck of a Thursday today as we look to get ready for the full-on weekend. Very excited to talk to Coach Johnson later on. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to catch up with Chef yet today or not, but we'll get into all of that. Talk a little Mississippi State ahead of this weekend's baseball series at the box. Foster Moreau, obviously, in the news again. We love to see it. Got an update on the Jag situation. A lot more coming up as well. What's going on? Jake, how you feeling today, man?
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing
You know,
well.
we never ask you.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, you ask us, but we never really throw it back to you and see how you're doing, T-Bob.
I'm doing pretty well. I'm a little hungry, I would say, from Oliver Twist last night.
Oh, I thought you meant like hungry.
No. Hungover.
Hungover.
Yeah. A little bit. Might have started my weekend a day too early. But we're gonna keep this thing rolling. So I'm gonna get into it tonight as well. And I got family coming in Friday. So yeah, it's gonna be. I can already see it come from a mile away. We're gonna do a little bit of a bender here, boys. Mario, how you feeling?
Oh, good, man. That sounds like a Barney and Friends version of hungover, the word you just said there.
A little hungry.
I am not hungry. I'm feeling refreshed, feeling good, ready for a good Thursday.
What about you, Taylor? What's going on, man?
Man, I'm great.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
Free
Let's
weekend
go.
and
That is the energy I'm looking for. Not that Danny crap where he's like,
Yeah.
doesn't even say
free
anything.
weekend in front of me, wide open, nothing scheduled, and that's how it's gonna stay. I'm excited, man.
Okay.
One more pesky work day in the way.
So what constitutes a free weekend in your life? Are we talking free from your wife, free from work? Like what
Free
do we mean
from
here?
free from work.
Okay.
I do a lot of LSU baseball during the season, and
Yeah.
nothing this weekend. So
Nice. Heck yeah, man. Jake, you're also on Cloud 9 with no afternoon show tomorrow. So it seems like the
That's true.
vibes are pretty spectacular here in studio on this Thursday. And why wouldn't they be? Because you're playing Mississippi State in baseball this weekend. And you are talking about a team that is at a low point right now. In fact, it's kind of shocking to think about how different things are now from a couple of years ago. I mean, really think about that, right? Like, well, first off, let's do this. I'm going to name the categories in which Mississippi State is second to last or last in the SEC. And just in this, like, couple sentences, it kind of tells the story of the season in a lot of ways. They're last or second to last in hits, triples, total plate appearances, hit by pitch. So those are the offensive categories. Not awful there. But then last or second to last in ERA, innings pitched, wins, saves, runs allowed, earned runs allowed, walks allowed, home runs allowed, fielding percentage, double plays, stolen bases attempts, stolen bases against. People are attempting the most to steal against Mississippi State. They're converting the most, and they're number one in passed balls. So they're awful on the mound. They're truly awful defensively, and they're lower third batting. It's just a disaster of a year in Starkville.
Yeah, everything you just said there, that's not good.
No.
You don't want to really be the leader in two of those, much less, 12 or 13 of those categories. And it's just completely different than what we knew that program to be when they're winning a College World Series. But this isn't the first year. Last year, it was more of the same for Mississippi State. And that's why a lot of people are wondering, Chris Lemonis, you did win a national championship. And we kind of compared it to, the situation for LSU. Coach
Very
O,
similar.
like you won one, but only a couple of years later, they decided to move on. Now, you're saying, okay, well, that was Mississippi State's first ever title. They're going to celebrate that. Yeah, but you have to know their expectations are incredibly high, as they should be for baseball.
Yeah.
So they're in like a tailspin right now, probably don't know what to do. They move on from their pitching coach, but is that going to be enough to satisfy people?
Yeah, I mean, no, probably not. And I think a lot of it kind of depends on how this season ends, actually. So this weekend becomes a situation where I think it does beg the question, Jake, is this a guillotine weekend? Is this a fatality weekend, right? Is this a Mortal Kombat finish him situation where if LSU sweeps, is that the straw that eventually breaks the camel's back? I mean, especially coming off of that Arkansas sweep last week. And to your point, I mean, really think about, a lot of fans like to play with the idea, and LSU fans did this as well, right? Did you sell your soul to the devil, right, to have this season? And, 2019 sort of has that sort of feeling for Tiger fans. Now, obviously, with last year, it seems like things have turned around, and so maybe you've come out of it on the other side. But for Mississippi State, I think it might be even worse potentially, as after you win that natty, you followed up by going 26-30, 9-21 in the SEC. To make matters worse, Ole Miss then ends up winning the national championship out of nowhere. Last team in the tournament, and yet they are the ones who take home the title, the people that you hate the most. And now this year, more of the same, 24-23, 6-18 in the SEC, chance to be 6-21 potentially after this weekend. So you thought you couldn't do worse than 9-21 with A&M and LSU left on the schedule? It's almost assured that you do worse than 9-21. So it's not, it is, you are catching them at a crossroads here, Jake. Do you think and remember, this is a fan base, like to Jake's point, set an attendance record earlier this year for most fans ever at a college baseball game. So what do you think, Jake? If they get swept this weekend, is that it for Lemonis?
It kind of speaks to the passion and the expectations, the fact that they can set a record like that with all the great programs that have great crowds across not only the SEC but the country. I think he'd get one more year. I think when you fire your pitching coach, like that's kind of hey, we're trying to move in this direction. In the offseason, I'll go get whoever name one is. Whatever name number one is on the pitching coach chart, I'll go get that guy and we'll fix this thing. I think they give him one more year. Now, it's going to be – it'll be a photo finish if they give him another year. But it's just, you won a championship. You did things that have never been done there, but you got to be consistent. How do you handle success? Coach Saban used to always say, more problems come with winning than they do with losing. And people used to think he was crazy.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to that, and we're seeing that play out in multiple sports here in the SEC over the last couple of years.
Well, and I'm a believer that's kind of exactly what went wrong after 2019, or a heavy part of it. And if you look at LSU football, in that you finally get to that mountaintop, you accomplish all those goals you always wanted to, and you think that your problems go away. Instead, you just get a new set of problems. And like you're saying, Jacob, potentially even more complicated set of problems in a lot of ways, because it's harder to get people to have that feeling of urgency, that focus, doing the right thing when you've won, right? And so what are we doing this for? We're already winning, right? No, it's really hard. The thing is about that third year, I think that's completely reasonable outside looking in. I don't know, as this season continues to pile on.
That's fair.
I don't know that that's not being eroded.
It's still not over.
Well, and the problem is, if it was just the pitching, that'd be one thing. But look at their fielding numbers.
Yeah.
The errors are out of control. So they've already given up the most earned runs at over 300. It's like 302, 305, something like that. They've given up 352 total runs. So even already being bad enough to give up 300 earned runs, which is dead last in the SEC, they've given up 50 more. A full 6 more due to a 963 fielding percentage. I mean, it's bad. And so it's bad at the plate, it's bad on the mound, and it's bad in the field. Like, I know it's reasonable. If you just took all emotion and just try to be cold, hard logic to give Lemonis another year, I don't know that he makes it, dude. Because I think they're going to finish with a worse record than 9-21.
Yeah.
In the SEC. And I think LSU has a chance to put a head on their wall this weekend. I think they have a chance to kill Chris Lemonis.
You've got 3 games, obviously, here in Baton Rouge.
It's kind of funny.
then they host Texas A&M. That's not going to be an easy series either. I think. I mean, if you lose all 6, you're probably right. Like,
Shoot, what if you lose?
What do you have to do if you lose 5? If you lose 4? If you lose 3? Like, what's the number where you think something would have to happen? I mean, they've got to get 3 more victories to even match what they did a year ago.
That's what I'm saying. Even going 2 and 4, even taking one off
LSU, 2 off A&M, maybe would be the only hope.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe that's enough. But then you're 9 and 21 again.
Yeah,
we ain't even talking 13 and 17. You know?
And then you miss out on the SEC tournament.
Yeah, we ain't talking 11 and 19.
It's going to be either
back-to-back years missing the SEC tournament.
Unless
that's got to go.
Unless you do something and Missouri falls off. Ole Miss is in that conversation as well. But yeah, you can't be the program that Mississippi State is, and the resources, the time, the effort, the passion they put into that program, and not play in the SEC tournament. Like that can't happen.
No. Again, you just set a record at the Duty Noble earlier this year for most people after the game in a season is completely lost. So no, I agree. I mean, look at these quotes from Chris Lemonis and tell me if this sounds like a man who is feeling a bit threatened here. This is what he said Saturday after Mississippi State lost to Arkansas in the midst of getting swept. They didn't know they were going to be swept at the time, right? But they ended up getting swept. Thank you to the fans. I've had so many people reach out. I know so many people are pissed. I understand that people are pissed because it's not acceptable. For the fans that show up every day, the fans that support, and there's so many of them, we appreciate it. Now, here's the quote that really jumps off the page, though, Jake. This is him talking to the players. If it's for now, if it's for tomorrow, if it's for the future, I'm going to come in and coach you as hard as I can and try to make you a better player. Hopefully during this, you can become a better player and have a learning experience. If it's for now, if it's for tomorrow, if it's for the future, that does not sound great in terms of job security, right?
Yeah.
That sounds like someone who is telling his players that maybe his future is a bit uncertain at this point.
Yeah, and the Auburn Tigers are actually going to have, in my opinion, a lot to say with how a lot of things go down, because when you're talking about making the SEC tournament, we mentioned Mizzou, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU, A&M, but Auburn is going on the road to Ole Miss this weekend, right? So Ole Miss trying to fight to get to the SEC tournament, then Ole Miss finishes up on the road against Bama, but Mizzou, they host Georgia, then they go on the road to Auburn. So Auburn plays Missouri and Ole Miss here coming up, and so they're going to kind of decide who goes to Hoover for the SEC baseball tournament. And I say that they're going to have a big play in this because if you don't make that tournament, right, even if you get in there by a game, even if you just find your way somehow, some way, like that looks much better than not even being at the tournament in Hoover competing for a chance to do whatever you want to do.
No, I mean, not getting to go to Hoover is like the SpongeBob meme where Squidward's like looking out the window, right? And SpongeBob and Patrick are having so much fun and they're playing outside, and poor Squidward just left in there alone, okay? For the second year in a row, Mississippi State is staring down the barrel at being Squidward. Okay, it's an awful feeling. And I mean, look, I don't know. Maybe I'm being a slave of the moment, Jake. I think Lemonis gets fired. I think when you look at LSU and A&M, I don't think they're going to be able to do enough against these two teams. I mean, they're in the box especially, and I think that's going to be all she wrote. And one of the premier jobs in all of college baseball is about to open up.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that would be a long list of coaches that would want to end up at Mississippi State.
Yes.
Any coach right now like that has a program in any conference outside of the SEC, and any coach is like certainly like at a G5 that's out there just playing at a high level. Like there's a handful that always do every single year.
Yeah.
But I would even say Power 5. Like if you have a coach in the Big 12, the ACC, and that job is open, you're running to turn in your resume.
I'm about to say it feels like this is one of those jobs where Mississippi State can have their pick of the litter. I mean, they have to back the right guy, but they can get like pretty much whoever they want, I would assume at least. But we'll see. LSU's got to take care of business this weekend. We'll talk to Coach Jay Johnson about it coming up in hour number 3. Coming up next here on OTB, let's talk about some of the other big local news. Foster Moreau to the New Orleans Saints. What are the contract details? What does it mean? Where's he at health-wise? We'll get to all of it next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, All-Star Toyota of batonrouge.com. Look, man, whether you want SUV, sedan, truck, whatever type you need, you want a Toyota. And it's right there off of Airline Highway for you. In fact, you can go look at the extra selection. We go to the website, allstartoyota of batonrouge.com. We always talk about, but Toyotas, look, these are investments. They stand the test of time. You all had a friend in high school who had like a 30-year-old Tacoma that was just cruising along, still purring, okay? That's what you get with the excellent service, sales, and family over there off of Airline. Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com today.
You are actually right. Everybody in every high school parking lot, they have that Tacoma that just stands the test of time. It ain't going anywhere, and that's what you can expect over at All-Star Toyota. So many different options for you. Tacoma, Tundra, if you're looking for a truck. We talk about everyday Sienna minivan, Sequoia, Highlander, if you're looking for an SUV. Check it out all online at allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 22 Ram 1500 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So
Jimmy Ott and Charles Henniger for the Thursday edition of Game Time, 6 to 8 p.m. from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank. Colucci time as well. That's Game Time, 6 to 8 p.m. Thursday from Walk-Ons on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I can still remember the mornings. Breakfast cooking, half asleep and still yawning. Yeah. It's time for Zulu, so we better get going. No place like New Orleans. yeah. I said I'm far from home, but I always represent, yeah. I thought I had so much time, I don't know where we went, yeah. But now that I'm grown, I know what it all meant, yeah. No place like New Orleans, yeah, yeah.
Trombone shorty and them boys.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Whew. Shout out John Baptiste, man. Yeah, I'm my biggest regret about the last couple of weeks is that I am not in the number of people who got to see John Baptiste live. I don't know. The Baptiste threw me down a little French corridor there. Speaking of, let's talk about Foster Moreau. As Foster Moreau, it's official, boys. He's on the Saints. In case you missed it, a lot of the story. Okay, so let's go back, right? Earlier this offseason, it was announced that Foster Moreau was visiting the New Orleans Saints for a free agent visit. We're like, oh my God, that makes all the sense in the world, right? Him and Derek Carr have a pre-existing relationship. Saints don't have really a true inline tackle, or tight end. And we all got very excited. Then there was a bit of bad news. And shout out to Saints team Dr. John Amos as they're conducting the physical on Foster. He actually finds a mass, right, within Foster. And granted, it's a weird thing, Jake, where at the time it was I don't want to say positive, but it was miraculous in the way that they found it, right? Like it was a stroke of good fortune to find it through the physical, and then so you could immediately start to attack it. Well, at the time, it was Hodgkin's lymphoma, right? So at the time, it kind of felt like, okay, you know what, man? It sucks. It's not going to work out, but who cares about any of that, right? All we want to know is, Foster's going to be good. Foster's going to be okay. And, well, all of a sudden yesterday, Adam Schefter tweeting, they've agreed to a deal, 3 years, $12 million, $8 million guaranteed. Additional $3 million available. That's a nice contract.
That's
like a really good contract for a tight end, especially nowadays. 25-year-old young guy working on a second deal here. So immediately I'm like, oh, okay, that feels like the Saints feel pretty damn confident about where he's at. And then I'm reading Nick Underhill, and I guess Foster had revealed that the cancer had spread and it was at stage 2, but got a good diagnosis a while back. Doctors were confident they could remove it through treatment and chemotherapy. And then recently, per a Underhill source, it appears that he got a very positive diagnosis. Here's the exact quote, Jake, from the piece. Quote, "The Saints will bring him along slowly, but he is not expected to face any limitations and could participate as soon as next week if team doctors feel comfortable," which is great news for both the team and the player.
Yeah, I mean, everything is great news. It's great news that he was able to catch this and had this physical, and it was a free agent at the right time, and to go to get this full exam, right? And they catch it, because if you're still like under contract with the Raiders, like I don't remember doing a physical every single year when you're starting a new year. Certainly not to that extent. So like that was a blessing that they caught it, and then just to have it not be the issue that maybe we thought it was going to be, because we weren't sure. And then when you hear spread, like that kind of makes you just
that's
like, oh
scary.
man.
I would have been very scared if I'd heard that at the time. I'd missed it.
Yeah, but I mean, we said it whenever it happened, and it wasn't just lip service. I mean, Foster Moreau is one of the toughest son of a guns that you'll meet, mentally and physically. Like the mental part's probably as important as anything in this situation, because like having conversations with him, like it was just about, hey, attacking it, figuring it out, beating this thing. And so like you never worried about his mindset, but you just never know in that situation. So all of this news is fantastic news, like from a personal level, from a human being level. And then like the football portion of it is fantastic for Foster, for the Saints. Like Foster gets a great contract that he's, gone out and earned. And then the Saints feel in need one of their biggest needs. We're wondering why they didn't draft a tight end. Well, and for this, they felt good about Foster the entire time, and so it's a perfect fit. He's able to come back home now from New Orleans. He gets to put on the black and gold. Another LSU player that goes to the Saints, and so for so long, it was you, Sean, you bum.
100%. Hey, why don't you go smoke your weed, okay, man? Gross. Disgust me, Sean Payton. No, but Jake, I think I love that you mentioned it is perfect on multiple levels. Like, just from a narrative standpoint, it is almost Hollywood-esque, right? LSU fans are happy. Saints fans are happy. It's the perfect piece for your actual on-the-field needs. And we can get into this, but it feels like the kind of final piece of the Saints offensive puzzle, right? Like granted, whatever you say, but what if somebody gets hurt? Well, that's any offense, right? It's not like you're going to be like 3 deep at every position. Right now, you have all the tools to put together a very effective and very creative offense. Just what Pete Carmichael do. So it works on the actual on the field level. You mentioned just like a human level, right? Just an empathetic, feeling what your fellow man is going through, getting that diagnosis, and now signing that contract has to feel incredible. And then the little magic fairy dust sprinkles on top. He's a Jesuit boy.
Yeah.
I mean, he went to Jesuit. He's coming home, playing for the hometown team, saved by a hometown doctor during the visit with said team. And, maybe this story ends with him going on to dominate the football field once again and becoming like a Saints legend or something. Like, you don't know how big this story could get. So it's just it is one of those stories that it's hard to hear about and leave not smiling, which I absolutely love. And he's a hell of a football player. You don't give a tight end 3 years, $12 million, $8 million guaranteed unless you are very confident about what they can do on the football field for you.
Yeah, last year, because he is a wide tight end, and I think most of our listeners would know, like, the wide tight end is going to be attached to the line. He's going to have his hand in the ground. He's going to be a blocker for sure, but also, like, you have to, in today's NFL, have to be able to go out there, run routes, catch football. Like, it's not just going to fall on the F tight end. Like, the F tight end, well, he's also going to be asked to do some blocking things.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to be able to do both, but certainly Foster will be your starting number one wide tight end, but he can run routes. He can make a play. In 2021, he had 30 catches, 373, averaged over 12 yards a catch, had 3 touchdowns. Last year, he had 33 catches, 420 yards, 12.7 yards per catch, and a couple of touchdowns. And so he has the ability to go out there, run a good route, catch the football, to go along with his blocking. Also, he's got chemistry with your quarterback already, too. Yeah. He's been with Derek Carr for the last 4 years. They know each other. That is an important piece of this as well. So it makes sense on every front, not just because it's a good story, because he's an LSU guy, but for the need that you had, this is like the perfect person you would pick to put in that position.
I agree. And now you look, him and Juwan Johnson create quite a red zone problem, right? Just in terms of matchup, trying to cut them both down. Oh, and then having Mike Thomas in the red zone. Like, are you kidding me? That should be pretty powerful, Jake. Oh, and then you got Jamal Williams, who, if you're going to use Foster's blocking, can just freaking, we saw it last year, managed to get across the goal line. Like, the pressure's on Pete Carmichael. We agree, right?
Yes.
Like, he's under a massive microscope. They have all the pieces.
Yes, you've got the tight ends you just laid out. You mentioned Jamal Williams. You drafted Kendre Miller in the 3rd round. Depending on what happens with AK, you went and got a free agent quarterback.
Yep.
You get Mike Thomas back.
Yep.
Right? You got Chris Olave. You got Rashid Shaheed.
Yep.
You got A.T. Perry in the draft as well.
Who looks like he could,
So you've got the weapons. You got the Jimmies. You got the Joes. Pete, got to bring those X's and O's.
Well, and it's interesting because you're right. You do have the Jimmies and the Joes, but then you also have, I don't know, is he a combination of a Jimmy and a Joe? You have Taysom Hill, right? Like you can use him in any way that you see fit. 3 tight end sets with them, putting Taysom Hill at quarterback with Kendre Miller and Alvin Kamara on either side of it. Like, there's just the
possibilities are endless if
yes.
you use the possibilities that you have.
It's like when you see the creativity of Kyle, and it's not fair to just compare anybody in their field to the best person in their field, to be like that guy, right? It's like telling us, be like McAfee, guys. Right? I mean, why don't you just do that? But but honestly, it's kind of how I feel. Like, be a little more Kyle Shanahan-esque. Like You got such an interesting grab bag of pieces. Figure out how you can put it together to create something truly threatening and confusing.
I mean, look at what Kyle does in San Francisco. Look at what Shane Steichen did in Philadelphia. What he's going to try to do in Indy. I mean, down in Miami, you got very creative, like, because he's from the coaching tree, right? So you have to. It is a copycat league. Like every year we'd come in, hey man, you know they did that. Like let's try to do our version of that. It happens all the time. You have the pieces to be creative, but if you line up your quarterback under center, run between the tackles again like you did, and play third down safe like you did every game last year, it's not going to matter. Like those pieces aren't going to be able to show you what they can do for you.
Do we think that maybe some of that is Dennis Allen putting his thumb on the scale for defense, or for a more conservative approach? Because he can't anymore. He'll do it to his own detriment.
He will. No, it could be because defensive coaches a lot of times are just built like that. That's not even just DA. That's defensive coaches. But yeah, I think he has to understand that he can't do that. And Pete Carmichael has to understand you can't be safe, play it safe, and still have a job next year. Like you've got to do something different. You don't spend that much money on a quarterback to play it safe.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to use the excuse last year that you were trying to be safe because you had Andy Dalton, and you know if you played it safe, he at least gave your team a chance to win, and you could, with your defense, you could win 21-17. That's no longer the case. You can't do that.
No, you saw it last year. The defense ended up bad, but your offense just sucked. That's why you went 7-10. So we'll see. A lot of pressure on Carmichael and Allen Company, but I like how they handled this offseason. I really do. I think they made a bunch of positive moves. Like, I think the Saints are a better team now than they were at the end of the year last year, and ultimately, is that not the goal of every single offseason? All right, when we get back, more OTB. Keep it locked here on 104.5 ESPN.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, you need somebody who's going to fight for you in the courtroom? How about this? 225-888-8888. Now, I don't exactly care where you are in Louisiana from an area code standpoint. You just put your area code and then 888-8888, and you are good to go. In the same way that Gordon will get it done for you in the courtroom, he's currently getting it done with your favorite athletes on the field, with the G team. Go check out the Grubbin' with G series. We're on social media at Get Gordon, where he sits down with Flajay, Angel Reese, and the Alexis Morris episode just dropped. There's a Mason Smith episode in there as well during the hyper football season. The bottom line, Gordon's getting it done. Let him get it done for you. Get Gordon. 225.
He can get it done right now, right? So you can call the number T-Bob just gave you, all the 8s in the area code in front of that in Louisiana. You go to getgordon.com. You can have a chat with them right now on the website. So any question, concern you might have. Also, check out a list of cases they can handle for you, past client results, all that on the website, getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on all new 22 Ford F-150 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
All right, let's say ah.
Where'd my spotlight go?
Super weird, but we can take care of it.
Get in and get better at Patient Plus.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with
Tune in for live play-by-play this weekend when the Boston Red Sox host the St. Louis Cardinals. Saturday at 3 p.m. and Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Shouldn't have told me. At first I'd laugh, but now it's sinking in fast. Whatever you told me, well, baby, I don't wanna take advice from fools. I'll just figure everything is cool until I hear it from you.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. We got Ross Jackson coming up at 8:15. He's going to fill us in on this Foster Moreau situation. He was kind of first on it, Mara saying yesterday. Also might do a little big deal or no big deal tomorrow. Tough break. We're not going to talk to Coach Torina at 8 a.m. today, as she's going to be flying back. Tough break for softball yesterday, Jake. 5-3 extra innings loss. It's brutal, man. It's brutal. But I told you yesterday, right? Like, if you just looked at softball this year, the difference between the 11 seed and the 6 seed was nothing. Like, when you went to Oxford earlier this year, you lost a very hard-fought game 1 and then had to win very hard-fought game 2s or 3s. So, like, when you're talking about a single game sample, literally anything is, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Do you think they still host?
This one's tough. Okay, so yeah, 10-inning loss, like T-Bob said, ends up being 5-3. I still think they host because their RPI is still really good. It's a top 6 RPI. You would have liked to get a win, just a win in the tournament there in Fayetteville. I think that would have guaranteed you a host. I still think you get it, but you got to sweat it out now.
Yeah. Because
you've your schedule and what you've done, and you've got 40 wins. It's very impressive. But you needed just one more victory. You felt like to maybe put you over top. But the only thing that they've got kind of going for them in a league that is incredibly deep, LSU does have that top RPI like we talked about yesterday. So that does help them out. I still think they're going to host, which is very important for them. It's a different team at Tiger Park than away from them. Not to say they can't win games. You mentioned going to Ole Miss and winning 2 games.
40 of them.
But it's a great home field advantage. That's more of my point.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and ultimately, look, man, what's going to determine how people feel about the season is not what you did in the SEC tournament. It's going to be what you did in the NCAA tournament. And certainly hosting means you're going to position yourself to do better in that. But even if you don't, you got to win, And if you do, then nobody cares that you lost to Ole Miss to start the SEC tournament. So I believe in this LSU softball team, Alec Gilpone, Taylor Pleasance, all that upperclassmen leadership. I think this has a feeling of a bit of the, things are darkest before the dawn type of situation. I think this team's going to come out and make a little noise in the postseason. Mario, am I a Jesuit Blue Jay or a Rummel Raider, do you think?
You definitely strike me a little more Jesuit.
And why is that?
I don't know. Just a
Ooh,
little.
that could be a fun game.
I'm saying I don't understand the New Orleans implications there. What would you describe as the difference between a Jesuit Blue Jay and a Rummel Raider?
I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think Rummel is considered more like blue collar if you're trying to insult them.
So I'm
maybe
a little more like
so
Silver
I'm a Rummel Raider.
A little bit, yeah.
You're wobble. Rummel Raider.
Jesuits
Greg
a little
Stouts.
more. Again, no offense to any Jesuit people, but Jesuits a little more like white collar, hoity-toity, I guess you could say.
Shout out Gordy Rush.
Yes, shout out to Gordy.
Our boss. Yeah.
And then Brother Martin's in between the two.
Okay.
So where would Jake be?
Jake's more Rummel. He just said.
I'm Rummel for sure. I already know that.
Well, okay. So y'all are just saying that I'm a spoiled little white collar boy?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
That uses big words.
I mean, is there another school though
disagree.
in New Orleans? Are those kind of the three?
Those are at least when I was growing
that would
up.
get compared.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have others like Holy Cross, De La Salle, but those are
Shaw,
kind of
other places. Yeah.
Those are kind of the big three.
Okay.
Go Jesuit, dude. Go Blue Jays.
What about John? Where does John Curtis fall on this? I mean, just different, completely different situation.
All those schools play school. John Curtis plays football.
Okay.
One of my fondest.
We didn't do it eventually. It's okay.
One of my fondest early radio memories is, fresh to New Orleans radio. Didn't really know anything about any of the dynamics or anything. But I called John Curtis a football school. And one of, I believe it might have been a Curtis family member, but called up the station and was legitimately angry that I would dare have the temerity to call John Curtis a football school.
How is that an insult? What were they insulted
So
by?
that was my point. I was like, well, hold on now. Pump the brakes. Your defensive nature is kind of telling on yourself. Because, I didn't say you were bad academically. I didn't say you don't have people graduate high school. I didn't say you don't put people in college. I actually offered no commentary whatsoever on your educational aptitude. I said you're a football school. That was it. And so if you're freaking out we're not a football, that means you know you're a football school because you're desperately trying to fight against this image. So you can be great academically, but football comes first. Didn't they used to do the old, then maybe not, maybe we get confused here. Did they used to do the old 2-a-days thing where they would have practice before school in the morning, or am I making that up?
I know for a fact they beat the school that was on the MTV show 2-a-days.
Yeah, Hoover High School.
Yeah, and they made a huge deal out of that.
Oh, we played Hoover.
I think Pruitt was the coach at Hoover at the time.
Don't they?
We played Hoover at the place where they played the SEC baseball tournament.
Did y'all beat him?
No, we lost in the last play of the game.
Did you lose to Rush Probst?
Maybe.
Was it Rush?
It might have been. 2003.
That's so crazy. Rush literally got caught having a secret second family.
That is, dude. How in the world can you keep that up?
I mean, I know I called Brad Bohannon narcissistic. That's actually the most narcissistic thing I could possibly imagine.
I fail as a husband all the time to do what I'm supposed to do for my family. How in the world can you keep up two families?
Because you don't really care about them, you care about you. I think that's probably how you do it. Remember also Rush exposed, not that anybody cares because everybody knows what's going on and they're too big to fail, but Rush was on tape exposing the Kirby Smart money booster pipeline. Did you ever hear that audio? Somebody filmed or recorded Rush talking at a touchdown club, and he basically was just implying, maybe we can find it, how Kirby gets the money to Georgia. Though I don't know that any of us actually care about that anymore. I mean, I don't. I definitely don't.
Y'all seen Titletown High on Netflix?
No. Is it Chasing 2-a-days?
So it's Rush Probst, and he's coaching in Valdosta, Georgia, or something like that.
Yeah.
And no, it's good. It's 2 seasons.
I remember hearing that some audio from that.
But the thing is, I didn't care about the football in 2 days. I wanted the reality show, right? Like I wanted.
That's what this is, and Rush is great on TV. Titletown High on Netflix, pretty good.
Okay. I had such a crush on one of the cheerleaders from that show back in the day.
One of the things, there's a couple things that get the chat going. One is ULL or UL. That gets them going.
Yeah.
Another is when we start talking about New Orleans high school.
I know, I guess
that really gets them going. And it's a dynamic. Full disclosure, I have no idea about it. I'm not from New Orleans. Never went to high school in New Orleans. I kind of lean on. We used to be Mario and Danny. They both went to Brother Martin. Haven Johnson says, as a 97 grad of Shaw, it's funny to hear y'all put Jesuit and Rummel over Shaw. I asked about Shaw
because
when I was
Shaw,
I asked about Shaw.
Somebody just asked,
when I was in school, though, they were legit.
Yeah.
I mean, we split one game apiece. We had a 2-game series. Sharon Carey, shout out, was back there carrying that thing for Shaw. So we played him in the Dome, I think, in the opener in 2000, maybe. So, no, Shaw was a very legit football program. I don't know anything about school of any of these schools.
So Ed Ogeron and Bobby Hebert won the state championship at Salafusha in 1977, and I think in the quarterfinals, they beat a Shaw team that my old man always said if they had played 10 times, they would have lost 9. But he just lived in the one reality where they got the dub and ended up winning state.
When I was there, West Monroe was dominant. Like if Jesuit or Rummel or New Orleans ever had a run, they would always eventually lose to West Monroe.
Hey, Will Blackwell. Yep. We played West Monroe 7 times when I was in high school. We beat them 6, you bum.
Hey, shout out to, though, Coach Jerry Arledge, legend of the game. Been, Northwestern State, West Monroe for years as a coordinator, then head coach, retired recently. And, just an absolute legend.
You want to talk about big jobs. That job was open. They just filled it.
Yeah.
Filled it, I believe, with the Ouachita's coach, I believe it was. But anyways, like Mississippi State job being open in baseball, like that West Monroe job being open in high school football in Louisiana, you have to imagine that they got resumes from everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Have you seen their stadium? It's insane. All right, when we get back, closing on hour 1 of OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Musso. Join me Monday through Friday for your daily update on LSU baseball with Musso at the Box, presented by New Orleans Flooring. Wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, and check out New Orleans Flooring. 2 locations, Metairie and Prairieville, or NOLAFlooring.com.
I drove myself to the ER, had heart surgery, and drove myself home 24 hours later, feeling fine. Starting running again after the procedure, I'm getting excited thinking about it. I had no pain, nothing. I felt great. And right then and there, I was like, oh my God, I'm back. I'm back. It's just amazing.
Ochsner Health. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
It's on. Join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, some SEC baseball power rankings, and we'll chat with D1 Baseball's Joe Healy about the Southeastern Conference. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
You think your wife would be down for that? I don't know if mine would be.
Going to the SEC baseball tournament?
For an entire week?
Oh yeah, it's true. Like, and
I've got some. You want to leave your on the edge of having a fifth baby wife with the 4 kids?
Well, okay,
for a week?
okay, that's a
Better
great.
have a lot of hay in that barn, Bo.
That's a very very solid point. Because I do have some things that I can't miss coming up already.
I don't know that's gonna happen. I do know if we go to Omaha that hopefully we'll be there at least for the opening weekend.
Ooh, God. Am I going to be able to do any of this?
I don't know if you're going to be able to do any of this. Welcome to my world. When I had a kid right before the SEC championship.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Right?
Yeah. Literally the day before Quad Bob was born. So yeah, what we are going to do, it's not 100%, but there's.
Oh yeah, Omaha's June 15th through June 26th. Y'all have a good time for me.
Yeah, we will. We definitely will. I mean, now that I'm a little Nebraska boy, there's nowhere I'd rather be than Omaha. But
so I got spring meetings before that in Destin that I'll be at.
Yeah, no.
And usually Katie comes with me because her parents live 45 minutes from there.
And get Omaha.
Yeah.
What maybe is going to happen, I'm hopeful, we might have some whiskey and wines coming up at Don Juan for baseball.
That's
so
fun.
just be on the lookout for that. Yeah, I'm very excited. It's a little even more fun for me. Imagine this, because I really don't have to be able to talk about baseball, right? Like I can just have fun talking about the game. Like sometimes when I watch football, I'm having to thread this needle of like having fun with everybody, but still trying to at least have like an analytical
breakdown.
breakdown.
See here on the 5 technique.
Yeah, like I don't have to do that with baseball. It's like, well, he struck out. What are we doing here, dude? By the way, once again, my good name has been dragged through the mud by somebody who photoshopped a picture of me as I was picking up lunch yesterday.
How much do you think it's Photoshop, though?
Chody337 says, look, that's his name on Twitter, says, confirmed T-Bob has absolute swagger, but the tiniest of shoes. I've looked at this picture so much, okay, because it has to be photoshopped, right?
T, can I say
Is that
this?
actually what my feet look like from behind? I literally zoomed in on it, and I was looking for like bend
Distortion
lines in
or
the
something?
concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, did somebody do like a Facetune app on my feet or something?
Yeah, I don't. That's your feet.
It's a bad angle. Is it a flat shoe? I mean, they're very old shoes. I've worn them constantly for like 3 years now. They're very worn out. Like they look tired.
Someone did mention in the comments that looks like a flat tire.
Those shoes.
Like your shoe looks like a flat tire because it's so flat.
Yeah. No, those shoes need to be put out to pasture. And it's not helping now that I've been playing tennis in them and they're just getting beat down.
I mean, the angle maybe. Look, the calves look great. So I think the size of your calves
I'm fine with that.
makes your feet look maybe smaller.
Yeah, no.
But like
They
I'm
just look
5'10",
so
you're 6'4", and we wear the same size.
Maybe it's like the socks a little bit too. It's a disaster.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
By the way, you're not allowed to retweet that picture if you're listening, or I'm going to get Gordon after your ass, okay? So all y'all stop.
Can you sue somebody if it's like
stop.
facts? Okay.
You're not allowed to. Okay. Accutemp of Baton Rouge, you are allowed to go to accutempbr.com for all your AC cooling, heating needs. Remember, right now in the month of May, if you get that new AC install, $500 off. Time to take control of your comfort zone with a company that gives you service to the highest degree. Go look at the online reviews, y'all, and understand that once you work with them, you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm never going anywhere else. Accutemp of Baton Rouge, accutempbr.com.
Go to the website right now. Maybe you're already sitting at your desk and you can't get to the phone. That's okay because you can do everything right there online. As soon as you log onto the site, it's going to pop up. You can schedule online. You can go ahead and you can move that appointment if you had something that comes up. They're going to work with you over at accutempbr.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 22 Ram 1500 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. on Thursday, May 11th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 82. Coming up on OTB, presented by All-Star Toyota, Ross Jackson of the Locked On Saints podcast joins the show at 8:15, and we talk to LSU baseball coach Jay Johnson at 9:30. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back, OTB, hour number 2. Got Ross Jackson coming up here. Next segment to break down the New Orleans Saints. Move yesterday, Foster Moreau. Let's get to some more comments here. Daniel Blunt says it looks like he lost his ankles in the frozen section. Okay, let's be clear, guys. It is a very cankly picture. Okay, this is fair. However, I have a thick white sock on. Okay, so I'm adding like probably an extra 1.5 inches to the diameter of my ankle. They're not actually that cankly. Champ says I'm still mind blown by T-Bob's knees touching while his ankles are 17 inches apart. That hurts because I've always been a little self-conscious about being knock-kneed. I wish I was bow-legged, okay?
I'm bow-legged like no other.
I know, and it's a great look, right? I want to be like a Mongolian horse archer. I want to look like I grew up in the saddle. Instead, these goofy little Frankenstein legs where my feet go out and my knees go in.
Bunky Perkins said, not so fresh market.
Okay, disagree. The Panther fit with the pink pant shorts was fresh as hell. I mean, look at the tweet. Even Chody said it. He has absolute swagger. Now, I don't know why Chody would go on to Photoshop my feet, but, you know. Mark Cumby, T-Bob's tiny feet, tiny hands with a big heart. Yeah, I don't think that's not true. Do those shoes light up as well? T-Bob's going to get baby Quad Bob's hand-me-down shoes? Okay, Dad. Relax. T-Bob got his shoes from Forrest Company, ran across the country. Yeah, okay, the Blazers are beat up, guys. Okay, I'll get new shoes.
What do we have on today?
I have on black Blazers today.
Oh, those are great.
Okay? Look how big my feet look. Get a good angle, Taylor. Get a good angle. Make my feet look as big as possible. Maybe if I do this and I bend my leg beneath the table a little bit. I don't know where this came from. I got my wife a lithium battery for the troll motor on the boat. I hope she likes it. Hell yeah. Hope you got it front to back. People are asking what I'm buying. I'm getting a sandwich. Getting ready for lunch. I just get a sandwich, and you know what I like? I like those little hint waters. You had those?
Mm-mm. What you said water at the end.
It's got a hint of flavor in it.
What do you think?
There's maybe the biggest upset of the century is how you are so obsessed with being healthy, but you like hate water.
I know.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
It's the restroom issue too. Like you gotta
just go pee.
You gotta commit to it.
What do you mean?
Okay, well,
just go pee.
I'm on air a lot.
Yeah. Just told it to go pee in the break.
During the breaks, like sometimes things move and you gotta, get ready for the next segment.
No, do it while you're peeing. You can twiddle around on your phone if you need to.
Hardsock did shame me into having a bottle of water yesterday.
I mean, we're all worried about you.
Yeah, I did. I put my high in it.
Me, yeah, as you should. It makes it delicious. Now, that is one thing that I've actually, unfortunately, become a little bit of a spoiled boy with, is I've drank so much My High that now plain water, I kind of struggle compared to getting a little My High Zero in that thing. But, bro, you got to, me, Hardsock,
Big Ten Bob,
Bobby, we're all texting about you. We just need you to drink some more water, dude.
Just some water, not like more water.
Yeah, just any amount of water. Exactly. Do you boys drink water?
all the time. I go to the bathroom a lot, to Hester's point.
Mario goes to the restroom. There's not a bath in there.
Good. Well, we're going to stop bathroom shaming then, because that's why you're not going. So we're going to stop bathroom shaming Mario.
Yeah, when I call games like Smoothie King Center, Superdome, I try to avoid it because the logistics of going to the bathroom are horrible. I have to go all the way to the other side of the concourse. I wish they would fix that. But for us, the bathroom's right outside the door, so it's all good.
Have you ever peed in a bottle?
No, I did not pull a Joe Buck. No.
Joe Buck did that?
Joe Buck did that. He writes about it in his book, yeah.
Heck yeah,
I get it, though. I mean, if you can't get to the restroom, what are you going to do?
You got to do what you got to do. You really can't miss any downtime calling games. Like, that's when stuff happens on the sideline, injuries. Like,
well, except for remember that one time that Les Miles did that? Wasn't that? Were they live during a segment, or was it live during a game when he was like, I could go to the bathroom, and he just stood up and walked away? Do you remember that?
No.
Y'all don't remember this?
No.
Okay, we're going to have to find this clip. Yes, it was on like College Game Day or something. He was on some studio show. I don't think it was a game broadcast. He was in a studio show, and in the middle of the segment, he gets up and takes his headphones off and leaves to go to the bathroom. Which, hey, power move. Power move. Imagine being so confident you're in front of millions of people, and you're like, hey, guys, I got to go.
You got to go, man. Yeah. Lamar Jackson last year, right?
Yeah, it wasn't, but that was a number 2, right?
That's why I always appreciated. So the Broncos, they had like right behind the home bench, they had this little cutout, and it had, a very small, oddly shaped room because it was kind of built into the stands, but it was a urinal and a toilet.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you didn't because Bush League Bolts, how many, you got to get 7 guys, you got to hold the towels up as, the one guy uses the restroom in the little drain so you don't get seen. And I remember we were playing in a big game, and our kicker was trying to use the restroom, and the camera just kept I guess because they saw people huddled around, they were wondering, they were trying to get the shot.
Yeah.
It was him trying to use the restroom because we didn't have anywhere to go, and they had towels trying to hide him. I think Nick Novak was his name.
What if you had to do, more than number 2? What are you doing?
It was a long run into our locker room in San Diego because it was the Murph. It was Jack Murphy Stadium. It was a baseball stadium that they made to play football. So nothing was close to each other because it wasn't functional. It wasn't built to be a football stadium.
Hey T-Bob, I got your Les Miles bathroom clip.
Okay, yeah. Let me see this. I haven't seen this in years. Go ahead. Can we play this with audio? All right, go ahead and give it to me. Here's Les Miles on, I guess, College Game Day or something. Is it some audio?
I don't know that this sample size is enough for me to really go out. No, you got to cut through. I tell you this. Don't say no because JT Barrett's going to get a lot better. JT Barrett, I'm going to use the restroom. Let me see in a minute. That's great, Les. Answer the runoff. Got it. I had to do it.
Oh, God, that's legend. That's some legend stuff right there. That's a pretty cool panel. Mac Brown, Les Miles, Gene Chizik. Hey, JT Barrett's going to get it. All right, boys. I'll see y'all in a minute.
That kind of looked like a companion show. So
it was a companion show.
Hopefully
That's
it's
exactly
a little
what it was.
bit better because companion shows you can't go anywhere, I guess. But
that's a little more loose. But no.
Yeah.
That was one with commercial breaks. That wasn't like a 24/7 live stream.
Could use the restroom.
That was awesome, dude. You boys take it easy.
He
handled it well.
Hey, he even did his famous point.
He handled it well. I mean, if you're gonna do it, you just gotta do it and be unapologetic. Like the walk-off answer was genius. Here's my take. I'll be back in a minute, boys. Y'all hold it down. I feel that complete. That's great work by Coach there. Wow. I hate this. I like this. Jeff G says, a big guy like T-Bob being athletic with shoe size like that is no small feat. That's really stupid, but really good. Are you a water guy, Taylor? Where do you land on the hydration?
Yeah, big water guy. I bring my cup every day. I refill it probably 3 or 4 times.
Jake, let's start working on you, dude. How about you just get 1 big cup of water a day here in OTB?
Okay. Can we all work on something together?
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
If I'm going to do it, we're all a team and we hold each other accountable.
Yep.
I will start drinking water, multiple tumblers per day. Mario has to eat something healthy per day.
Oof.
1 meal has to be a healthy meal.
Oof. How are we constituting healthy meal? Because I think you and Mario have different ideas.
Yeah, we got to workshop this.
What a healthy meal, maybe.
When he used to send us some in our group chat and be like, eating healthy today, it's like, well, where's the picture proving that?
Yeah.
Because what you sent, And I'm not shaming,
Mark's
but
like, I got lettuce on the burger.
My guy,
I mean, what do you mean? What do you want me
my
to do?
guy
There's lettuce
Mario,
on here.
every break, he's the one that more than any of us in here sticks to the push-ups and the
True.
squats and everything.
He looks great right now.
And he
He's been
looks
working
great.
out on top
He
of
looks
it,
great.
too.
If yes, working out outside here. If Mario ate a little different, like he would see results like in 7 days. Like he would have like instant results.
There you go, Mario. You just got to eat some sweet
Okay.
potatoes.
We could do that.
It's all about substitutions. Like, hey, here's what I eat normally. I don't have to go full grass eater, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, no,
there's
I
some
feel
options.
that. I'll never. Mario. I think Mario's idea of health food's probably like I was doing. I was going on Sheba Turk show back in the day. I can't remember who I was doing the show with, but there was this other girl in there, and I think we were talking about Chick-fil-A, and she's like, "I don't eat Chick-fil-A. That's too healthy." I was like, "Huh?" Come again? He's like, "Yeah, I'm all about Popeyes." I was like, "Look, I love Popeyes too, but like, let's be clear. I don't think a fried chicken sandwich is healthy with fries exactly. Like Chick-fil-A sauce that is just honey mustard, barbecue, and butter.
The service is much better
for one of those little packets.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Service is awesome, sure. But,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. I remember Sheba being like,
that's pretty funny.
Uh-huh.
Fonz says, Hester, drink water. Mario, stop killing people. And T-Bob, be a foxhole guy.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do? Grow my feet? It's impossible.
No, he said be a foxhole guy.
I am foxhole.
He didn't say
I'm
anything
the
about
foxhole
feet.
guy. I'm the foxhole guy. Right? It's why you're going to go be a good family man.
Okay, I will say this. So I didn't see the clip, but when y'all were talking about me on the Friday I missed when I was in Kansas City,
Yep. Who had your back?
apparently like Rivers was throwing a lot of shade and even like brought up pictures and different things.
Yep.
And I got 3 texts
Mhm.
that said, it's okay because T-Bob's got your back.
There you go, dude. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Definition. If the grenade comes in, I'm taking Mario and I'm throwing him on it to save us. You know?
Thank you.
So we're going to live.
Thank you. So I do
You
appreciate
don't have kids yet, Mario.
appreciate
I'm sorry,
that.
dude. I don't know what to tell you. You know what? We'll throw Taylor. What am I talking about? We'll throw Taylor.
Well,
on
Taylor's
there,
married,
obviously.
though.
What? Throw me under what?
I don't care. I don't care about that. Also, he's a new guy. You got to throw the new guy.
That's true.
We have at least amount of
that's true.
relationships
Mario's vested here.
Yeah.
Taylor, you got to go.
You're off to a good start.
Everybody's calling me the new guy.
Yeah, you are the new
I guess
guy.
new to the show.
Yeah,
look,
exactly.
I had worked here for 4 years when I took the OTB job, and I was like the new guy.
I was about to say, I think I
Yeah,
technically
and
started a week before him.
And for me, I moved 6 to 8. I think I went 3. I don't know, 1 to 3.
Yeah, but look,
Yeah,
I mean,
you
but
went
look,
12
you
to
can,
3.
You can
and
be
then,
a military veteran. You could have been like, I've been all over. I've been in this campaign, this campaign. But you just joined the platoon, right? You
Right.
just joined the boys.
You did. You
I'll,
did.
I'll embrace the new guy.
Yeah. There you go. People love that TV
yeah.
show.
You're
Or New
new.
Girl.
You are new to OTB.
That's
Exactly.
true.
You're not new to the building.
You are.
They don't know you.
That's true.
You know.
Get in, loser. We're calling Ross Jackson.
I agree. Let's call Ross Jackson next here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to All Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. Look at it. It's right behind me every single day here. We do 2 commercials a day for them. Why? Because All Star loves the show. They support the show in these trying times. I do not take that lightly. I love All Star. I don't get a free car or anything, but there's a reason why I constantly bring my business there. And it's because I love the people. I love the service. I love the deals that you get. And I just like the ownership process, right? Like top to bottom, whether it's, like I said, sales, upkeep, like anything, they are the absolute best. Go see them off of Airline Highway today. All-Star Toyota, Baton Rouge.
Yeah, you'll check out all the new vehicles they have available, all the vehicles they have available for a lease. All vehicles they have for rentals as well. So new, leasing, rentals, pre-owns, they have it all. But the full fleet being available in the rentals is something you're just not going to find everywhere. Go find your vehicle to rent today, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's
Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We start to look to LSU, Mississippi State at the box. Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball stops by. Join us, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Mac Lindsay said, I listened back to the beginning of yesterday's show. I missed. T-Bob said Keith Kachuk instead of Matthew Kachuk. It's one of Keith's sons playing for the Panthers. Yeah, it's a good point. Obviously, while I have the Panthers jersey, I don't know much. I knew there was a Kachuk on there, and I guess I just fell back upon my Eric Kachuk. Yes, Mario. Oh, I thought you raised your hand.
No.
Let's go to the phone lines. We got our guy, Ross Jackson, host of the Locked On Saints podcast, does this a ton of work over there with Locked On. He is the man. He was also at the ground floor of this Foster Moreau story. Ross, what's going on, man? Thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey, buddy, man. Appreciate you so much for having me on. I've done all of those things, yes, but I know absolutely no Kachucks, if it makes you feel any better.
Okay.
Zero Kachucks.
Not even a Keith. From
Not
back in
even.
the day. Yeah. Well, how old are you, Ross, if you don't mind me asking?
33.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, I just turned 34. How are you enjoying your Jesus year? I found it to be one of the most deeply satisfying years of my life.
I have found it so far to be one of the most deeply satisfying years of my life, actually. That's really funny you would say that.
Dude. 33 is a prime age, dude. It feels good. Hell yeah, man.
Great.
Wow, so 33 and no Kachucks, huh? Oh, well.
No Kachucks.
Okay, let's dive into Saints talk, though, Ross. Obviously, it's been popping off. Foster Moreau, though, the big news yesterday, we talked about it earlier in the show. It works on every level, right? If you're an LSU fan, you're happy. If you're a Saints fan, you're happy. From a basic human empathy standpoint, you're happy. Narratively, it's a Jesuit boy coming home and now getting to play for the home team. Like and it feels like the final piece of the Saints offensive puzzle. It just feels like it checks all the boxes. How soon, how did you learn about this becoming real? How soon did you maybe start to get wind that they were actually going to go through with this?
Yeah, I mean, look, it started to feel pretty likely when back in April he returned to New Orleans to finish the physical. You know, the first physical, which uncovered the Hodgkin's lymphoma diagnosis, was back in March, but then he returned at the end of April, just before the draft, to finish the physical. And then so kind of right from that point, we were all kind of on watch because we knew that May 1st, after the draft was done, the compensatory pick formula or compensatory free agency period was going to be over, so the Saints could sign free agents without risking some of the right now 3 compensatory selections that they're in line for. Foster Moreau was a guy whose contract expired, so it always felt like, okay, maybe sometime in early May this would all come together, if it's going to come together at all. And then thanks to Brooke Kirchhoffer over at WWL-TV as well as New Orleans Football, we knew that there was an offer on the table, and then everything kind of came together pretty quickly once the news broke that he had officially accepted that deal. And so it was nice to just kind of get a kind of a positive story, just a really good feel-good story here in the offseason in a way that actually benefits the team on the field as well.
Yeah, it is that rare story where there's no kind of negative drawback or negative angle through which to kind of peruse it, which I love because we don't get to do that very often. Shout out Brooke for being on the ground floor of this for sure. So what can you help me out with the diagnosis, Ross? Because I remember the original diagnosis and miraculous in many ways. It ends up going down like it did. I missed the part where then they later learned that it had spread and that he was into stage 2. But they said that, look, we feel very good about it, our ability to fight it, remove it. But what's the latest? It sounds like he's going to be ready to play even for like OTAs and stuff potentially. Like, where are we at with Foster Moreau's health right now?
Yeah, I've reached out to a couple of different folks, and there's a couple of other reports that are floating around kind of saying the same thing. Many of us getting the same information here, that the expectation is that Foster Moreau is going to be back sooner rather than later. And so, look, there's a point to this too, to consider that maybe it's a little bit of a balance of both, that he's receiving treatment, but because of the way that the treatment is impacting him, he's still able to participate. And so the participation might be limited to start and things like that. But it is very possible that we see him out on the field next week in OTAs. And that's remarkable because we were kind of talking about this being a guy that you sign, put on the non-football injury list, and then wait and see if sometime in the middle of the season he gets cleared and then you can activate him and then have him for the stretch run of the year. We're now at a point where it's very, very realistic that Foster Moreau is on the field at OTAs, although what he's doing might be very limited. It might not be, full out. It might be the sort of ramp up period, as we know the New Orleans Saints like to do with guys that are coming back from, injuries, ailments, things like that. But then that we see him during training camp and that he's on the field for the team week 1, contributing at the beginning of the season.
Which is, again, not even something like, even last night before I started reading everybody's reporting, not even something that I thought was in the cards.
Right.
Gulf South, the chat says, ask Ross Jackson. Do you have any insight as to whether or not these Saints were the only team to offer Foster?
Our understanding is that they were not. I don't know who the other teams are, but that other teams were certainly interested. John Hendricks, buddy of mine, who, of course, who's with me over at Sports Illustrated's Saints News Network with Fan Nation there, he was reporting and has been reporting that teams were checking in on him throughout the draft as well. So this was a historic tight end class, to where teams were still looking at the historic tight end class and going, I wonder if Foster Moreau is going to be ready to play. And so that tells you a little something about, the NFL's view on this guy and how he can help the team sort of as an all-around tight end that can play in line, that can be a good receiver, that's a solid blocker, that can kind of do all these different things. And the Saints, have maybe the most connections out of anybody else on that, out of any other team that's out there. It's his hometown, it's his hometown team, his former quarterback who he spent his entire career with, and Derek Carr is now here in New Orleans. And so it just kind of allowed them to separate themselves from the masses there.
And so kind of like you're alluding to there, Ross, this certainly has a final piece of the offensive puzzle feel, right? I mean, you feel pretty good about the offensive line. Now, obviously, you're going to need Penning to give you whatever he can there at left tackle, but you expect Ramchick to probably return to form. I like the growth of Cesar Reese. Eric McCoy is great. So you feel pretty good about that. Kendra Miller, Jamal Williams, and Alvin Kamara, okay, feel great there. Michael Thomas back, Raheed Shaheed. Even Perry's kind of exciting there. And that you had Juwan Johnson. You needed that inline blocking tight end. And Foster is that, but he's also more than that, I guess. My question about all this is to say, are there no more excuses left for Pete Carmichael now, right? Like, does this up the pressure on Pete Carmichael to produce a creative and threatening attack because he has so many unique weapons to use?
Yeah, I'll say it this way. The Saints have everything that they need to be successful in 2023. They have a great offensive roster. It looks like they have built up their depth. We'll see what the actual 53-man roster looks like, but you imagine, that these guys are going to, make their way out of training camp and onto the 53-man roster all across. You know that they're going to have depth in that conversation. They have a, pretty easy schedule based on last year's last year's projections. So, what does that really tell you about who they are? The opponents are next year, probably nothing, but gives you a pretty good understanding there. They're going to play 13 of their 17 games indoors in 2023. The best quarterback that they'll play all season is arguably Trevor Lawrence. And if you disagree with that, then I guess it's Jared Goff. Wow. But for the most part, it's probably Trevor Lawrence. And then, I guess that all depends on who the rookie quarterback turns out to be and how those guys end up impacting. But, for New Orleans, there's a lot there for them. And by the way, they still have a very talented defense that finished, top 10 as a scoring defense last year, top 5 as a yardage defense last year, was one of the better passing defenses of the year, despite, their 5 starting secondary players never taking a snap together at all in 2022. And they've bolstered the depth at those positions as well. Maybe the last thing you're looking at is, can the Saints build up their depth at linebacker? Can they build up their depth on the defensive line? But if I remember my numbers correctly, I think they've still got like 5 or 6 roster spots available and still have a considerable amount of money to be able to spend there too. So there's still opportunities for them to continue to build that out. So yeah, I would say that they have everything that they need, and therefore the excuses are going to be, if there need to be any excuses, they're going to be few and far between.
And the Foster cap hit is about I think it's sub $2 million because of the classic voided years on the end trick.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see what the full sort of details of the deal are, but it's it's a 3-year, $12 million deal with $8 million guaranteed. You have to imagine that a good portion of that $8 million is probably going to be a signing bonus, which, as you mentioned, they'll have void years on the deal, and that will kick money down the road. And so when we look at it, we're going to probably see a light first year cap hit, much like we're accustomed to seeing with the New Orleans Saints. So I think that that's very likely that it comes in under $2 million, depending upon what that signing bonus looks like. Jamal Williams got a similar deal, right? And so when you look at the way that they structured Jamal Williams' deal, it would make sense that the Saints would structure Foster Moreau's deal the same way.
What about Dennis Allen? Because maybe I'm not even being fair to Pete Carmichael, right? Because ultimately, the OC has to be beholden to kind of the tone that the head coach wants to set, right? And sometimes defensive coaches can be a bit risk averse when it comes to kind of offensive philosophy. I don't know if that was the case last year, but do you have any insight there? Like, do we know if maybe some of the Saints' lack of creativity last year or lack of risk taking was by design?
I don't know if it was necessarily by design, but it was certainly interesting to watch. And I think that some of it, Dennis Allen, has kind of alluded to before in terms of the conversation around everybody kind of needing to figure out their new role. And I think that was true for him too. He had 2 defensive coordinators while also being the defensive play caller and the architect of that defense, while also having to try to split focus in terms of, okay, what are we doing over here on the offensive side? So when you look at sort of just the structural changes of what the New Orleans Saints did over the course of this offseason, I think it tells you something. They ended up, dishing out on the co-defensive coordinator structure. DA brings in somebody that he trusts and knows extremely well in Joe Woods, who's a big-time character guy, who's a big-time locker room guy, who's a great secondary mind, just like Dennis Allen is in terms of defensive backs. And so when you look at kind of that structure and the way that they re-architected or rebuilt that defensive coaching staff, I think that there's a little bit of let's just simplify the communication so that things get a little bit, easier in terms of figuring out roles early on in the year and things like that. So I think that will have a benefit, because we know that Dennis Allen is not a conservative guy when it comes to his defensive play calling. This is a guy that runs those Okie fronts on 3rd down and long, that sends the blitz, that will send the house on 3rd and long and 3rd down situations and things like that. Like, he's a risk taker over on the defensive side. And when he was, when he was the full-time play caller for that game that Sean Payton missed years ago over in Tampa, you saw those aggressive tendencies all over the place, the rugby calls and kind of all these creative things that they did. So it's all there. I think last year, though, a big part of it is you built an offense for Jameis Winston, and then you had to run it with Andy Dalton. And it's not as easy. That does not go as easily or as sort of seamlessly as that sounds,
Mario whispered in the background, Hester's not here to stick.
Yeah, I said thank God.
Dude. I agree.
But it is interesting. Like, it's always hard when you change a quarterback in a system. It's like when you sit down in somebody else's car and have to readjust all the mirrors. It's like that same thing, but you're Andy Dalton and your offense has been built for Jameis Winston. Those are two vastly different quarterbacks.
Talking to Ross Jackson, host of Locked On Saints podcast, also manages a ton of all of the Locked On podcasts. Ross, last question here. As the offseason schedule progresses, what are you most excited for next, right? Like, where are you kind of turning your attention to, where you think you're going to find interesting talking points and just good content coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, the schedule release is today, so I think that's kind of the next big thing. But honestly, what I'm most excited for is, Saturday we get to be back in the building with the rookie mini camps going on, and I'm like crazy excited about that because it just feels like kind of the first day back at school. And the way that the offseason kind of works here is that we'll have the mini camps that will go away for a little while. They would come back from OTAs, or for OTAs, it would go away for a little while and then training camp. So it's going to feel like the first day of school over and over and over again. So this is a really fun time to sort of have that sort of experience before you actually land into the week 1 game, whatever that will be and whoever that opponent will be. And so I think those little steps are kind of the things that I'm most looking forward to next. And of course the schedule, because the schedule packs so much hashtag content, right? That sweet content that we get to see and discuss throughout all that, between the road trips and road games and home openers and winter the weather games and things like that. Like, all of those things become such an important piece of how you start to project the Saints 2023 outlook.
Yeah, the NFL truly has us by the balls as we all await an 8 p.m. schedule release that they're trickling out, right? Like, my dumb lizard brain, I saw Bills Jets week 1 and I immediately just wanted to dive in and start talking about it.
Yeah.
Ross, thank you so much, man. Ross Jackson, please, y'all, listen to Locked On Saints podcast. Do yourself a favor. If you want to stay up to date with the black and gold, also at Ross Jackson. Noah Ross, one of the absolute best. Ross, thank you so much, man.
Hey, absolutely, man. Thanks so much for having me on, guys. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Take it easy. Ross Jackson. We love Ross Jackson here on OTB. Coming up next, let's do a little big deal or no big deal. Keep it locked here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
$0 over MSRP at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. That's right, don't pay over MSRP. There's no markups, no games. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come home in Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down the
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play. with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
The best-kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Jimmy Ott and Charles Henniger for the Thursday edition of Game Time, 6 to 8 p.m. from the original walk-ons on Burbank. Colucci time as well. That's Game Time, 6 to 8 p.m. Thursday from walk-ons on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to OTB. Jake had to run and go do some dad things. You know, we do not like, we're like, which coach was it that said that if you ever miss a kid's game or something to be here that you're fired? Who was that? It was recent.
Yeah, it was a Power 5 guy.
It was a big name.
It was college, yeah.
Who was it?
It was college, I think. Right?
I thought it was
It was
Bruce
a big
Arians.
college coach.
I thought Bruce Arians did something similar.
You know, you're right. I think I'm thinking of the Bruce Arians rule.
Yeah.
That is the Bruce Arians rule. My bad. It is. I think a college coach did something similar, though, too. It's tickling something in my brain. But, yeah, I think Bruce Arians said, if you don't go to your kid's stuff for this job, you're fired, right? Well, so Jake had to go around and do kids stuff. I'll be taking you the rest of the way. We're still going to talk to Jay Johnson at 9:30. Very excited about that. We got Big Deal or No Big Deal coming up at 9 right now. I want to talk a couple LSU football pieces as on the news front. Looking at a Tiger droppings report here. The LSU coaching staff extended an offer to Rhode Island safety Antonio Carter on Tuesday. Of course, the defensive backfield for a second year in a row is a group where you kind of don't know exactly how it's going to shake out. You know, you like the pieces that you brought in, but it is not a lot of new faces for a second year in a row, and you're going to see how they all fit together. And you still need depth there, and Antonio Carter would seem to check that box. Now, to give you an idea, right? Like any time, if you're looking for a way to measure, if you've never heard of a person, say, hey, how good is this guy, right? Well, who are the other suitors? That LSU offer joins Notre Dame, Florida, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and many, many others. So as you can see, this is a premier college football recruit, and in a lot of ways again, we nothing in life is all positive, right? Every coin has two sides. A knife cuts both ways. Yada yada yada. Like we talked about it with Mel Tucker. He benefited off the transfer portal. Now he's being slain by it. In the same way, there are, stories that you don't like that come out of the transfer portal era and the age of NIL, and you lose players that you don't want to lose. And I know, like, Jake wanted to talk about Hunter Dickinson going from Michigan to Kansas earlier, and some of the things he had to say. Like, yeah, there's going to be something you don't like. This is one of those stories that I love, though, because here's a kid, Antonio Carter, for whatever reason, maybe he was small in high school. And he grew later, right? Maybe he just didn't get looks because he was buried at some small high school, right? Like there's so many different reasons. Guys develop at different rates. And yet normally, just because of how it works, we reward the guys who develop early because they get the looks from colleges and they get the college scholarships. And well, if you mature after 18, good luck, but it's going to be harder to find you. Well, that's not the case anymore. So for whatever reason, Antonio Carter at high school did not demand respect. He goes to Rhode Island. He balls out, starts 22 games in 2 years. 60 tackles, 4.5 TFLs, a sack, and a pick last year. 10 PBUs too. And well, all of a sudden now, LSU, Notre Dame, Florida, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. That's awesome, okay? That is someone who deserves to be on that stage now, having the ability to find that stage. And it probably comes with money nowadays as well, which has got to be great as a young man trying to start your life off in the right way, right? Because he has so many suitors. You're going to probably have to have some NIL promises in there. I mean, that's what Dickinson talked about, going from Michigan to Kansas. He literally talked about how he was very blunt about it. He was making under six figures at Michigan. He wanted to make six figures. Who can't appreciate that? So we'll see where Antonio Carter ends up going. Obviously, again, because of the market and the stats, I think that's going to be a big pickup for whoever gets him. And it'll be up to Brian Kelly to prove that, can he achieve the Louisiana dream of putting a fence around the state, keeping all that incredible in-state talent in-house while going to other portions of the country and grabbing these big-name recruits. And like we talked about yesterday, one of the other things Brian Kelly's going to look to do, and as he looks to bring stability to this LSU program, which can be more up and down than just about anyone in the entire country, is he's got to figure out what to do at the highest level with these five-star guys. Got to get them to start to perform. And if you do that, well, then the potential of LSU becomes nearly unparalleled, right? I mean, we laid it out yesterday. Nobody better in the country, objectively, numerically, at putting 3 and 4 stars into the NFL. It's the 5 stars that you miss on. If you fix that piece, well, then, the sky's the limit. I guess my only question is, can you get past Georgia? And there's a line. I know we touched on it yesterday, but there's a line that's almost just stuck in the back of my head, boys, and I can't get rid of it. And it's that LSU, in that period that the Athletics studied, that recent decade, that 11-year period, Louisiana was second per capita in terms of players put into the NFL. Who was first? Georgia. Why does that become terrifying? Georgia nearly has triple the population that you do, and yet per capita, they still sent more to the NFL. So you're talking about a talent pool size that is higher ratio-wise, but also triple the size. And that's who they're choosing from. And traditionally, Georgia used to hold themselves back. They used to be penny pinchers. They had like a 30-yard indoor up until like a couple of years ago. But now they got Kirby Smart. They found their Caesar, their Pompey, and the purse strings are open. And the rewards of conquest are flowing in. They just built an $80 million new football ops building. They built a $60 million attachment to the stadium for recruiting and a new locker room. Built a $30+ million indoor facility. They're paying these players. Like and then even different than somewhere like Tuscaloosa, which when Nick Saban arrived wasn't much of anything, and now has risen and it's got like jobs and economic opportunity, all this stuff. Athens was already cool, and now you have that leader. So it's crazy. Like, Mara, we'll get into this maybe a little more next segment. We were talking during the break about O versus Kelly and, how much does a championship matter? And obviously that's why Brian Kelly came here. But it's just wild that Brian Kelly could make LSU the best that they've ever been, and yet I can't help but feel that Georgia has the potential to always be LSU, but more so because of the population, because of the economy. They have all the buy-in that LSU does. Hell, they're even the only flagship, right? Like nobody's going to Georgia Tech. That's a ridiculous point. I don't want to hear nobody's going to Georgia Tech over Georgia. So that's why winning championships is so special, man. Because there in theory is always supposed to be a bigger fish. And so at the same time where Kelly has a more powerful arsenal than he's ever had before, he's now going to be facing down a greater program than he's ever faced down before. Because I think the potential of Georgia is even higher than that of Alabama because of some of the natural resources that we just named. So only time will tell. Can Brian Kelly bring that stability, fix the five-star problem, and eventually somehow get past the red and black empire that are Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs? We will see, but I'm fascinated to find out, man. All right, when we get back, let's go ahead and close out hour number 2 of Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, y'all. Every day I get on here and I talk about ITI Technical College. And I want to be clear. I believe fully, sincerely, and wholly in ITI Technical College and their mission. This is a local family-owned trade school, okay? No national for-profit stuff here. Local family-owned trade school. That's right there off of Airline Highway. It's been changing Louisianians' lives for the better for 50 years. There was a Georgetown study conducted a couple of years ago where they looked at what you pay for school versus what you can be expected to make in your career post-school. And this looked at all schools, 4 years, undergrad, all that. Top 15 in the country, number 1 in the state of Louisiana, y'all. So if you feel stuck, you feel anxious, you feel the burden of the future, uncertainty weighing upon you, you want retirement, you want a career, you want something that you really work towards, be proud of, it's all there for you at ITI Technical College. You can sign up today. Go to iticollege.edu, iticollege.edu.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on all new 22 Ford F-150 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Turn my music high, 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 yeah. You don't know what you're doing. Sure I do. I'm from the streets where the hood can swallow on me. Bullets will follow on me. There's so much that you could run the slalom. And cops comb this top to bottom. They say that we are prone to violence, but it's home sweet home. Where personalities clash and chrome meets chrome. Prices up and down like this Wall Street.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the
in for live play-by-play this weekend when the Boston Red Sox host the St. Louis Cardinals, Saturday at 3 p.m. and Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. We have a couple of NFL games leaking out. I want to try to get these as they come. Week 1, we're going to get Jets-Bills, which is pretty awesome. Great uniform matchup. A lot of primary colors in there. AFC East matchup. I think primary colors, I actually don't know. But AFC East matchup. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen. Like, that sounds great. I think the Bills will probably smash, but that sounds great.
Just Sauce Gardner versus Diggs gives me reason to watch.
Yeah. Well, and just what a huge opportunity for the Jets to try to be like, we out you. Like, even though knowing the Jets, they're going to severely disappoint. Aaron Rodgers like break his sternum. Just all of their lives are going to come crashing down around them. The opening game of the entire NFL season feels kind of random. Lions at Chiefs. I mean, you always open up with the Super Bowl champion on that Thursday at home, right? The Lions portion of this, I think, is where the randomness comes in. And what it shows you is like, okay, you know how in wrestling there's a term of putting people over, right? The NFL's kind of given, this is not wrestling. They don't script these things. Well, I mean, I guess some of y'all think that they may. But like, this is the NFL providing the Lions the opportunity to get over. They had a really strong finish to last season. Everybody loved them on Hard Knocks. Everybody likes Dan Campbell. Jared Goff seemed to find himself last year. Very interesting draft, even if you disagree with it. So, yeah, if the Lions could go there in Kansas City and beat Patrick Mahomes of the Chiefs, what a statement that would be. Unfortunately, it's probably less that they're going to get over and probably more that they're going to be used like a jobber, right? And they're just going to get taken care of, and the Chiefs will get their rings and reveal their new banner, and that will be that. But an interesting opportunity for a frisky Detroit team there. Mario, we were debating, because we were talking about Coach O, we were talking about Coach Kelly, right? And we were kind of debating, okay, who is the better football coach? And I feel that it's pretty obvious, right? I feel that without a doubt, O has had the best year of the two. Nothing touches 2019 that Kelly's ever done. But I think overall resume, it's clear to see that Brian Kelly is the better football coach. Where do you land on this?
100%. And what he's done at LSU is impressive. I think he's on pace to do better than Coach O in the short time. Like Coach O wanted his third year. It wouldn't be crazy if Kelly wanted this year, right? But fair or unfair don't mean a thing if you don't got the ring. And until Brian Kelly wins his first championship, for me, it's always Coach O greater than him.
Okay, so just straight up, that's all it doesn't matter. Like none of the other evidence matters. It is just that one ring makes up for everything.
Yes. To me, yes, it doesn't mean a thing until you validate it with the championship.
I'll actually go the other way on this. I agree rings are important, but you look what O did at his other stops. Like you mentioned, he was solid in 18 and then great in 19, but kind of failed. He failed at Ole Miss. Kelly was great at Cincinnati. He was great at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
He probably exceeded everybody's expectations year one at LSU. He's only going to get better here. I think when you look at the whole body of work, not just 1 year, I think Brian Kelly's resume speaks for itself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Taylor. But then again, I'm someone who I don't believe in the championship or bust thing. that much. I mean that should be the goal every year is to win a championship. But I hate this idea that you can't be good because there's so much luck involved in crossing that finish line. You got to have injury luck. You got to have things break your way during the season. I mean, even look at Georgia, right? They have looked inevitable as back-to-back champs, but they had to have the Alabama receivers go down 2 years ago. They had to have some spectacular plays, a missed field goal, Marvin Harrison Jr. getting hurt, right? Like, everybody gets these lucky bounces along the way, and yet if you just happen to not end up on the side of those, or if you happen to not create enough for yourself, then, like, we don't celebrate you. So I don't know. I think you can be great without winning a national championship.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think Brian Kelly is great, but yeah, certainly that's his whole goal behind coming here is checking the final box.
Exactly. Those are his own words. That's literally the reason why he came here. Like, if the question was asked, who would I rather start a franchise with a head coach, I'm going Brian Kelly. But Brian Kelly himself straight up said that's why he's coming. Like, if he doesn't win a championship, it's going to be a failure for him.
Yeah.
His words, not mine.
Yeah, but I also think, like you said, who am I starting a franchise with? I mean, if I ask who the better coach is,
yeah, we said
I think the better coach is Brian
even
Kelly.
Though you said Oak is a championship, you know it's Brian Kelly because you said you would take him to start a franchise. And that's ultimately what answers that question. All right, when we get back, hey, we have Chef Michael Johnson in for 9 a.m. Munchies questions. Get him in the chat. And then after that, we got Jay Johnson.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Buck.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on Thursday, May 11th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 82. Coming up on OTB, Chef Michael Johnson joins the show up next for a new edition of Munchies, and we talk to LSU baseball coach Jay Johnson at 9:30. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. OTBOT, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. Jeff G in the chat says, Coach O let Woody choose his assistant, should have stood his ground. Greg Lamont asked me if there's any validity to that. Is that true? I don't know. To be honest, it's always tough. Dude, it's so tough to know what the actual truth of the matter is in any of these things, because a lot of times the individuals involved, their truths are different, right? So it's like when you hear from two different sides that tell you completely different things, but they both have absolute conviction in their voice. How do you know what is real and what is not? So are there rumors like that? Sure. Is it true? I don't know, because I've heard rumors the opposite way as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Our favorite guest every single week, the legend, Chef Michael Johnson. Chef, thank you so much for joining us once again today, man.
Absolutely, guys. Pleasure to be here.
Heck yeah, dude. All right, let's dive right into some munchies here. Hashtag munchies. If you were going to start a food truck, Chef, what cuisine are you picking?
I got a buddy from Vancouver that he opened up a food truck, and he had duck tacos and pork belly and foie gras, and wow. I was always jealous of that, and I don't have jealousy in my heart very often, but man, I was up there for the Olympics in 2010 and met him, and when I came back up there for like the Vanier Cup a couple of years later, he had his food truck open, and I always admired the quality of food that he put out of that food truck, and so. I don't know. I think that's, I don't want it to be like everybody else's food truck. I want it to be just crazy that, things that people would not typically see on a food truck so that it's unique. Yeah.
Yes. You want to go above and beyond.
Absolutely.
You're not just doing Cuban sandwiches like the movie Chef.
No,
I do love a good Cuban.
That works. That's good for some people, but I want something that's like me. Yeah.
Hashtag munchies. What's a dish your parents still cook better than you?
Oh man, I don't think that exists.
Hell yeah, dude. No. Is there any family member that can cook something better than you?
My brother cooks pretty well, and he does this like 2 or 3 day jambalaya that he like pulls his pork and cooks his pork and stews his pork ahead of time.
Oh,
which
wow.
I really admire the effort that he puts into it. So I'll give him some credit for that. My dad does fried pork chops that are pretty good. That I don't mess around with his fried pork chops, but my dad also still thinks that pork chops have to be fried well done. So I don't agree with that. But
hey, dude, you got to cook that pork, dude. You don't want to get sick, bro. What are you talking about? Hashtag munchies. What is your favorite meal that requires a specific beverage?
I think like when and I obviously don't do this at work, but if I'm like smoking something on the smoker, it just screams beer. You know what I mean?
Beer,
yeah,
100%.
Yeah. If I'm smoking something on the smoker, a beer goes well with it, or
even a few beers.
Yeah,
you got to be out there a lot. You got to be out there a long time.
Yeah, you got to smoke the thing for like 18 hours.
One beer per hour. That's the rule.
Oh gosh, that's right. Yeah.
Hashtag munchies. Which side will match well with a barbecue flavor palette? Mac and cheese, beans, slaw, potatoes. I guess maybe he's asking what your favorite barbecue sides are out of the traditional ones.
There's a place called Smoking Guns in Kansas City that did a broccoli cheese rice casserole that I really love. Ooh, man, it's not your typical, but it's fantastic. It's like cheesy and got broccoli in it, and I really love that. If we're going traditional, I think it's going to be mac and cheese, and done well. I don't like cheap cheese in it where it's going to make it greasy and break and make it mealy, and like I want it creamy mac and cheese.
Yes. Yeah, like a roux-based mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Don't you make a roux for mac and cheese a lot?
Yeah.
Like when I've done it at home, that's what I've done, and it's come out okay.
Absolutely.
Hashtag munchies. I have a whole Wagyu tenderloin that I don't want to screw up. I need your help. Suggestions.
Open fire, high heat, very quick. Just
Okay.
very quick. Like you don't want to cook
kiss
it very long. Like you're just trying to wake up and rest it too. Like rest it before you cook it so that the fats are waking up.
Okay.
And then, like once you grill it, there's no need to rest it because you're really only cooking it for, like 2 minutes. You don't want to cook all that fat out. That's the beauty of it. The beauty, is in the fat. It's the marbling tastes good.
So you have the Wagyu. You want to let it get up to room temperature, right? Like that's what you're
Right.
looking for before you put it
Or
on.
ish, like you want it warming so that it's not going on cold, right? You want the fats to kind of warm up a little bit so that, when you put it on the grill, they are going to melt a little bit and flare just a touch, so the flames are kissing it a bit. But you don't want to cook the fat out of it.
Okay, so then you do that high flame sear, like you said, and then are you slicing it to serve, or you could eat it however you want?
Well, yeah, I think for me, like I'm probably going to cut it into medallions,
Okay.
like the Japanese do, and cook them very quickly, and then kind of share them around, like maybe 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch medallions, and sear both sides very, very quickly.
Oh, okay. So you're cutting it before you cook it then.
Yeah, right.
Okay, cool. Hashtag. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, just very little seasoning too, right? Like you don't want to put so much seasoning on it that you can't taste the beef. The beauty of something like that is the purity of what it is. Like I'm not going to put any blackened seasoning on it or anything like that. I'm not even going to put onion or garlic powder on it. I'm just going to put salt and probably some cracked black pepper on it.
Oh God, it's so good, dude. Hashtag munchies. What's a good spring meal that you like to make when you and your family eat outside?
Springtime just kind of brings, and people are going to judge me for saying this, but like leafy green salads with fresh fruits and stuff, like berries and stuff. I like those fresh seasonal ingredients, and those are just the things that come to mind, like maybe a little goat cheese salad or something with fresh berries, strawberries, and some Louisiana strawberries. Ooh. And raspberries and blackberries and stuff like that. Maybe some toasted pecans or something.
That does sound.
I like seasonal fresh foods, though.
Hashtag munchies. This comes from our resident chat chef, Craig Granger. Hashtag munchies. Trying to make chorizo balls. Can I use saffron rice? And what kind of oil should I fry them in?
Saffron rice. I've never made it with saffron rice, but I think it's going to matter what the gluten content is in it there. That's a good question. I can't say for certain whether you can or not. I would probably go with a regular grain rice. I think as long as it was like a regular grain rice instead of not like a basmati rice the saffron rice was made with.
I don't know. I actually don't know the difference in any of the rices. Honestly, like when I just get like Louisiana jasmine just because, but I actually don't know what I'm buying.
I mean, until I've experimented around with it, it's hard for me to say with certainty, right? But like I would probably use the Louisiana grain rice because the gluten content in it, it's going to help. It's going to help it kind of stick together. And chorizo is so fatty that that rice is going to absorb grease into it, which will make it less sticky, right? So there's some difficulty there in getting it to hold the ball shape. So
what are you frying in? What kind of oil?
I'm probably just going to use canola, to be honest with you, just so it doesn't flavor anything. I mean, honestly, chorizo has enough fat in it that you could probably render some of that out during the cook, and then I mean, it's a greasy deal. And then use some. I'm not going to use a flavored oil or something that has a strong flavor to it because I want to taste the chorizo.
Hashtag munchies. Rate your top 3 barbecue state styles.
Barbecue state?
Yes, state. Like I guess so. Like how states have Kansas City or whatever. No, it's not
okay.
a state. Everybody chill. Give me your top 3.
Number 3 will be Carolina.
Okay.
I like the sauce right in it. Number 2 will be Texas. I like Austin style dry rubs and stuff like that. And then number one's going to be Kansas City, just because, like I have so much experience there. My heart is there, and I like the molasses, like sauces that go with it. A lot of people think that you cook with the sauce on it there, but it's really about the sauce that is a condiment that comes with it. And
so how much effort goes into making those sauces then?
I think the sauce is as complementary to the meat as the cooking process is. Like if you have a cheap, crappy sauce, it's going to ruin the barbecue. Using good ingredients in your sauce is as important as using a healthy technique when you execute. So,
do you make your own barbecue sauce, or do you have a brand or something that you trust?
I have, I do. Casey Masterpiece, I've used quite a bit as a base to take it in a direction, because I like the flavor profile of it. If it's made it to that point where it's marketable and people buy it, it's been proven that it's tasty already.
Yeah.
That's Kansas City style. If it's Texas rub, I'll make my own. If it's Carolina style, I'll make my own. But I do like KC Masterpiece. There's a local place there. It's called Gates that has a pretty good barbecue sauce that I'll go check out.
Gates, you said?
Gates Barbecue.
Okay, yeah, I'll check that out. Hashtag Munchies. I really enjoy frying turkeys. Best homemade injectable, or do I just buy the brand name?
If I'm making an injected brine or whatever, I'm usually garlic. Just kind of your basics. Those injections, some of that stuff cooks out during the cooking process, and so if it is too strong of a flavor, it'll make it gray on the inside and it'll leave little gray pockets, which I'm not a fan of. I like it just to kind of be, and I don't put acid in it. It's oil and seasonings only. Okay. A lot of people will put like lemon juice or something in there, and I don't do that either. I just make it oil and seasonings.
Okay, last one here, Chef, and then we will let you go. Or maybe go more. Hashtag with Mother's Day Sunday. What's one song you would pair with a good romantic dinner? That's Avo's trying to go on a romantic date with his mom.
My mom's Italian, and I think I used to work for this Italian guy that he always played Frank Sinatra on the radio or on the music, and he said you have to be able to digest your food comfortably, and Frank Sinatra will do that. So. In the spirit of that, I think Frank Sinatra, something classy.
Hashtag Munchies. Last one, Chef. What do you call the end piece of a loaf of bread?
The heel.
Okay, I call it the heel as well. Yeah, he didn't know if it was end, nose, butt, whatever. So it's the heel. That's what that officially is.
Yeah, the heel. Yeah.
How do you use the heel? When do you use the heel?
I will use the heel just like a normal slice of bread, because I'm a maniac. My kids won't touch it. And I think just because it's like I'm not going to waste it. I will use the heel as like breadcrumbs a lot too. Like I'll freeze several heels and then make breadcrumbs out of that, because I like that toasted flavor out of it.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like to do a little sandwich roll up with the heel sometimes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. They hold together better than just the regular slice, right?
I agree. Chef Michael Johnson. Every single week, he cuts out from his very busy schedule. He joins us here on OTB, and we love him for it. He answers all of your culinary queries. Chef, thank you so much, man.
Take care, guys.
Hey, you have an excellent weekend, my friend. All right, when we get back, do a quick big deal or no big deal, and then we got Jay Johnson, the head man from LSU Baseball, coming on. So keep it locked this hour of OTB rolling right along real quick. Do remind you to go check out Patient Plus Urgent Care, patientplusuc.com. If you're not feeling well, okay, your tummy hurts, ear hurts, nose, eyes, whatever, you're sick, under the weather, Patient Plus is there for you. They're the best urgent care I've ever been to. And that's from, it's the facilities, it's the people, it's the attention to detail. And if you've never been inside of a Patient Plus and you don't know what I'm talking about yet, but even from the outside, you're like, wow, that's a nice building, right? But when you go in, see the privacy of these rooms, the technology they have, all the testing, they're the best, okay? So when you need to get in and get better for life's unexpected moments, whether it's COVID, flu, colds, earaches, eye aches, whatever, go to Patient Plus Urgent Care. And remember, all your occupational medicine needs, all the Mid-City location of Patient Plus. So don't think twice. You need to get in and get better, go to Patient Plus. Patient Plus Urgent Care, Patient Plus UC.com. Ryan Breck says, I only use the heel for grilled cheese and put the end towards the inside of the sandwich. Ooh, that's kind of smart. Trick your brain by just slathering the crust in cheese and being like, this is a normal piece of bread. Because you have the inside flipped out. That's actually not a bad technique there.
I'm not going to lie to you, T-Bob. I never eat that piece of bread.
You don't eat it at all? You just throw it away?
It's like taboo to me, yes.
I never eat it either.
And
what do y'all do with it?
Growing up, my family,
Toss it.
I don't know if it's a Latin American thing, if it's a Guatemalan thing, but my mom always called it la suegra, which translates to mother-in-law, because nobody likes mother-in-laws.
Oh, no, la suegra.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
That's the best answer for what it should be named. Not a heel. It's la suegra.
La suegra, yes.
I'm calling it that from now on.
Oh, man. No, I like the heel, dude. I think the heel's fine, man. You can make a sandwich out of it to go double heel sandwich. But like I said, I like to do a roll-up. Like PB&J roll-up or a turkey and cheese, something simple.
No, I'm either throwing it away or shaving off the crust with a knife.
Okay, Brian, that's just a level of effort that's absurd. Like, you cannot go through all the effort of shaving the crust with a knife. At that point, you might as well throw it away.
It's not that hard.
You don't feel like? I feel like it would take like 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I'm not doing that. Like, if I want it, I'm just going to eat it before I cut the crust off. But I never use it.
La suegra. Champ says you eat a hamburger bun. That's the exact same thing. It's not the same thing.
It is not even close.
Not even close. You know that's true.
Get out of here.
Champ says I literally eat the heel first. It's my favorite part of the bread. That also cannot be true. That's just a troll tip. Like, not even I who likes the heel eat the heel first.
Keeping the heel, if you will,
keeps
on
it fresher,
keeps
right?
it fresh. If
Yeah,
you
that
eat the
makes
first
sense.
one, you're gonna have stale bread like halfway through the loaf.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I could I have no idea the truth of that, but that sounds one of those things that you hear. You're like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's science. I don't know what to tell you. All right, when we get back, more OTB. Keep it locked.
OTB, OT.
Hey, go to Riverlands Insurance, 225-206-1517, 225-206-1517. Home insurance, auto insurance. You got teens that are about to drive. You need business insurance, your contract, like anything and everything. Thomas and Megan Email are going to do the shopping for you. You just call that cell phone number. What is so cool about what they do as well is that, look, Louisiana is very unique in terms of its makeup, right? Its business, the type of insurances that you may need, the little quirks that you need to know about. Well, Riverlands is right here from Louisiana, okay? And they've become one of the fastest growing insurance companies in the entirety of the South. And it's because they understand this market and they understand how to shop around and find you the best policy and save you hundreds to thousands of dollars a year. Like, what would you do if you just had $3,000 extra dollars? That could be you. If you call 225-206-1517 right now, Riverlands Insurance, Thomas and Megan Email, hit them up, 225-206-1517.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come on, live Baton Rouge. Operator, won't you put me on through? Gotta send my love down to
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and
Join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, some SEC baseball power rankings, and we'll chat with D1 Baseball's Joe Healy about the Southeastern Conference. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
With Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
All right, let's do a quick big deal or no big deal before we get to Coach Jay Johnson here on OTB. Let's hit it. Big deal or no big deal?
Big deal. Ain't no big deal.
Big deal.
No big deal.
Big deal.
No big deal. No big deal.
No big deal.
Big deal or no big deal? There is a dog, a little cute little corgi, little anime dog, that has been predicting NBA series. They throw him a basketball, and then there's a hoop with a Lakers logo on it, hoop with the Warriors logo on it, and they do it to predict each game. Well, this dog had the Lakers going up 3-1, but then Warriors in 7, and well, lo and behold, after last night, gone from 3-1 to 3-2. Big deal or no big deal? The corgi predicting the 7 and Warriors in 7.
I think it's a big deal. This isn't your normal 3-1 deficit, right? Like, if anybody's going to erase it, it's going to be the Golden State Warriors. And Klay Thompson's going to have a big game in Game 6.
Know it.
I already put a few shekels down when it was 3-1. I don't know about y'all.
Oh, I did not.
I'm definitely going no big deal. You do not win or lose a series because a corgi hit the ball and thing. Is it cool to watch? Yeah, but I mean, LeBron's not going to go up there and miss it because a corgi told him that he was going to miss that shot. I mean, it's a cool thing to watch.
But here's the deal: is you're seeking a causal relationship. No one says there's a causal relationship. But what if this corgi, through some sort of quantum interdimensional feeling, somehow just channeled the outcome, right? Like, he's not the cause of the outcome, but what if this corgi, through some sort of mathematical anomaly, just felt like luck and everything felt some way that he will accurately predict the future?
Yeah, if the Warriors defend him right and Lonnie Walker gets all those open looks, he's going to be thinking about the corgi.
Yeah, and they can absolutely win the series. Like Mario said, if anybody comes back like this, it's going to be Steph and the Warriors. I just don't think the corgi has much.
Not because of the corgi. I'm with the corgi as the prophet.
I'm one of those people who's like, you make your own luck type of thing. So,
well, yeah, I mean, trust me. Look, me and my wife always clown the people who are like, oh, I changed my shirt, and then, we won. We started playing better or something like that. Didn't make any sense. Then again, maybe you too are channeling something. I will say this. Now, the corgi, though, even followed the rhythm of the wins, right?
Yeah, so it's like who's winning which game.
Lakers, Warriors. So, okay,
yeah, so it's 5-0 right now.
Okay, dude. I'll say, it's a pretty good corgi.
It's clearly Paul the Octopus reincarnated as a corgi.
Did Paul the Octopus die?
Yeah, like a long time ago.
Oh.
But he went like 8-0 in his World Cup picks that year.
Rip. All right, big deal or no big deal? The Jacksonville Jaguars saying the teams are going to have to find somewhere to play for 2 years as they rip the stadium down to its very studs. They're basically redoing the entire thing. It's almost like they're building a new stadium. That's right. Even though they had the cabana, they had the sweet screen, everything, they're still redoing it. We talked about it yesterday, boys. They're obviously being cheated on right now, and it just gets sadder because, to me, this is no big deal because they're still going to London. And like I said, the Jags are still taking that trip to London with their personal trainer, telling Jacksonville they have to stay at home. And what's Jacksonville doing? They're saying, okay, baby, well, I'm going to renovate the house, just like you always wanted, okay? You're going to be happy here. I promise, as the Jags continue to move closer and closer to London. So no big deal because it's not going to save them.
Yeah, I agree. The analogy you made the other day was just on the money. Like, it's so obvious to everybody else. It seems like they're being gaslighted. And Jacksonville has good fans, man. Like, they've had some good runs. They've still suffered a lot. I would feel really bad for the people there.
Well, they have the fan. That woman who's like, the Jags. You know what I'm talking about? You know, yeah, hell yeah. Dude.
So I'll actually go the other way on you guys, and I'll say it's a big deal, but kind of agreeing with you. I think this is further proof that they are leaving Jacksonville. They tore down that stadium. I'd be surprised if they rebuilt a new one. I think it is a big deal.
To be clear, I'm guilty of maybe using the wrong phrasing here. They are severely renovating it. The quote that I read was down to the studs.
Yeah, down to the studs. I was like, that is a big deal. They're leaving.
It's like building a new stadium, which is a massive deal investment-wise. And probably, it's hard to fathom leaving after that, but it still feels like the NFL wants them in London. All right, that'll do it for, unless you have one, Taylor?
No, I'm good.
That'll do it for Big Deal, No Big Deal. Let's go ahead and go to break. When we get back, we got Jay Johnson here on OTB.
OTB, OT. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
All right, let's say ah.
Where'd my spotlight go?
Super weird, but we can take care of it.
Get in and get better at Patient Plus.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We start to look to LSU, Mississippi State at the box. Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball stops by. Join us, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
I don't even use that word. I mean, we're a no drama program. That's why we're 37-10 and, top of, the league and college baseball and all those types of things. Like, I don't think that's a deal. There's a difference between having intentionality and urgency in what you're doing and panic. I mean, panic's drama, intensity, and urgency is a plan.
Panic is drama, intensity and urgency is a plan. That is leadership right there, folks. And that's from Coach Jay Johnson, who is kind enough to carve out some time from his very busy schedule to join us here every single week on Off the Bench. Coach Johnson, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for joining us today. I absolutely love that quote about panic and drama and intensity and urgency. And so I guess on the heels of the first series loss here, what has been the plan this week? Like, where has that intensity been funneled into?
Yeah, a couple places. First off, they had to funnel it towards their final exams. We're almost out of the woods on that. Had a good win on Tuesday. Light workout yesterday. Getting them in here today for a good prep, and off and rolling this weekend. So really excited about the weekend, and hopefully our fans will come out and support us and make the box the box.
Yeah, going to be a big weekend at the box. Bulldogs coming to town. Get there, get crazy again. Do not miss these final opportunities to check out the Paul Skeen show, which every single week are getting less and less. How about this, Coach? When I was very excited to see what the post-series press conference kind of, what sort of attitude or kind of direction you were going to adopt, right? Because I've seen coaches go both ways here, where sometimes they feel like their team needs a kick in the ass, and so they come out there and they're kind of fire and brimstone. But it felt like you came out the other direction, where you were a little bit like, you know what, everybody, like, I'll bet on this team. Like, I'll ride with these guys. I've seen them work. Was that a kind of purposeful strategy kind of statement out there to get out there and back your guys publicly right after they suffered their first setback of the year?
I don't know about that. I mean, I always will, but I think it's more of, you said the word trust is probably the more accurate depiction of that. I mean, nobody outside the building's privy to what happens here on a daily basis. And I believe the players deserve that respect. I mean, they've been number one for 13 straight weeks in college baseball, and the SEC is really difficult to do that. We're like 22-8 against the top 50. Our RPI is 3. We're in a great position to play postseason baseball at Alex Box, which we want to do. and they compete every single day. You know, they've taken games maybe that we shouldn't have won and found a way to win.
Yeah.
And have been very, very consistent in their effort. And even looking at the Auburn series where, you know, we didn't play maybe as good and we always focus on the play. But, I mean, it's a 2-0 game in a 2-0 count with the bases loaded on Saturday with, you know, Dylan and Tommy coming up, and Dylan just hit a ball hard at somebody. Like, if that gets through, we might be looking at being disappointed about a series win on the road against a team that was in Omaha last year. So you kind of have to keep those things in perspective. And that being said, we continue to work hard and focus on what we need to do better.
Well, and it's funny, Coach. I mean, you've obviously been here for a while now, but does it feel a little crazy to accomplish everything y'all have accomplished, right? Like up to this point, having not lost 2 games in a row, right? The incredible record in 1-run games. Like you said, the great record against the top 50, wire to wire, number 1 for 13 weeks, won every SEC series, and yet one slip up and, you know, the fans, everybody's like, oh, what's going on? Are we like, what this team, man? What are we going to do? Like, I guess what I'm asking is that unique to LSU and your head coaching experience? Is kind of people, it's just a very high bar that people seem to be operating under.
You know, I mean, this may surprise you, but I don't really pay any attention to that. I think I've maybe said this before, like, you can't have them not be that way, but then ask 13,000 people to show up.
Sure.
So I'll take the 13,000 people every single time, and knowing what I put into it, my staff puts into it, and the players put into it, you can take the field with a lot of peace of mind that you're doing everything you can to meet that bar. And I will say this, and I love how much everyone around here cares. That was one of the big draws to me coming here. They don't care 1/10% of what our players and our coaches do. So, you know, they should feel good about that. And I feel good about that, and feel good about moving forward because of the talent that we have and because of the care level of the guys inside the locker room.
I remember I used to feel that, like, as a student playing, I'd be like, oh, you're mad at me for playing bad? I literally commit my life to this. Like every waking hour, every minute, all I'm doing is trying to be good at football. I'm just sometimes not as good as I want to be. So I definitely can empathize with that. What's been the message? What's been the vibes around the locker room this week? Obviously, great midweek win, bounce back, had the beautiful back-to-back-to-back highlight, which is just always pure fun. How's everybody feeling this week?
Yeah, I think it was good. I think the energy level was very good on Tuesday. We got some good work in yesterday. Again, albeit short with their final schedule. We kind of had guys coming in at different times throughout the day. We're almost out of the woods as far as the exams, but I mean, these guys love playing at home, and I don't blame them with the atmosphere that we have, the excitement of those games. We're never really out of it at home, and I think we're looking forward to being at home and playing, and, you know, getting Paul on the mound tomorrow night. That's obviously always a good thing, and getting after it this weekend. And you know, in reality, you know, none of these weekends are any different as far as competition. You know, we're playing a team that won a national title 2 years ago that has a lot of sense of urgency to try to make the SEC tournament. So we're going to get another team's best shot. Just like last weekend, you know, Auburn, who I think is a very good team, is fighting for their postseason NCAA regional life and gave us their best bullet. So it'll be no different than the previous 8 weeks we've had.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's to your point. You're very validated in saying that, because some people say, you know, you say that last week, you're like, they're dead last in the ERA. And then look, now they have 2 top 5 series wins in a row. You can never sleep in this conference. Coach, I apologize if I missed something here and if you address this, and I'd like to know your answer to be, but I have to ask, the rotation for this weekend, will there be any changes?
Yeah, we're going to shuffle it up a little bit. You know, we'll announce it here later today.
Okay.
Paul will pitch on Friday, and then it'll be coming out shortly. And again, this is not trying to be discreet or anything. I just really, really want to get our rotation out there at the same time as we get our opponents.
Fair.
And the word on mine was we were going to get that around 10 a.m. It's not quite 10 a.m. yet.
Okay. So we're about 20 minutes away here. Coach, right now at the catcher position, you seem to almost have an embarrassment of riches. And it's interesting because everybody has a bit of a different skill set, right? So as a coach, is it kind of nice because you can almost play with it depending on what the situation at hand demands?
Yeah, for sure. I think you look at most teams around the country, if you lose your starting catcher, that's going to be a big blow. I don't know what the equivalent would that be in football or basketball, maybe the point guard in basketball. But, I mean, Brady Neal as a freshman, was playing great for us. I mean, we were winning every SEC series. He had some big home runs against some of the best teams in the country. He was catching great. He went down, and Alex and Hayden have stepped in and have done exceptional. Alex has caught well. He's really improved offensively. Hayden is really, really swinging the bat well right now. He's caught some good games, back there as well, and really excited to, kind of keep those guys moving. And all of them have been great team guys and have been ready when it's been their time, and have competed really hard in the box and behind the plate, and feel very good about the catchers we have. And to me, we'll always try to play the right guy for the right day, but it really doesn't matter which of the three are back there in terms of how I feel like our chances are to be successful.
Last week, Dylan Cruz, that Friday performance, Paul Skeens on Friday was just a sight to behold. But we are used to seeing that, right? Maybe not to that extent. 15 Ks was unbelievable. But I got to say, man, I was hooping and hollering in my house watching Thatcher Hurd come in there, high leverage moment. And the thing about it, Coach, it wasn't just that he got out with the clean outing, right? But it was the feeling. He felt so in control of the situation. Like, it just felt kind of inevitable, and that's how it feels with great closers. Is that kind of what you're envisioning for him going down the stretch here?
I think the control part of it of himself is leading to the control of his pitches. And, he could do just about anything. He's one of our best pitchers on our staff. We knew that internally and had some really good outings at the beginning of the season, and then hit a little speed bump. And that's part of development, but has really made some really good adjustments. And like I said, you used the best word. He's in control of himself, and went out to the mound on Tuesday even in the first day, and just looking at his disposition, body language, demeanor, focus level, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go back to the dugout now, because this guy's about to strike the next two guys out, and he struck the next five guys out in a row. So he's on it, and he's gonna be pitching at important times for us the rest of the way. Yeah,
it's just been a huge development here late. And then I try not to roll your eyes too hard at this last one here, Coach, but Dylan Cruz has hit, for his standards, would be considered maybe a minor little slump here for a few games. It's funny to say that because he's still reaching base every game, right? Like the thing that every baseball player tries to do. But is that do you even say anything to him, or you just keep it moving? Like, how's that work when you have a guy where how talented he is? He's incredible. And again, it's still not bad, but it's just maybe not up to the standard that he's been at this year.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to our team.
Yeah, true.
He has performed at such a high level, like he's created this unmeetable standard for what he's going to do. Yeah. And, in baseball, every once in a while, you're going to go 1 for 5. And that happened last weekend. With that being said, and I was hitting with him last night, and he looks like Dylan. And if I'm a bet on one player ever in my entire life, it's going to be Dylan. And certainly no concern of mine whatsoever based on the person, the player, the talent, the focus, the reliability. Really excited to get him going again this weekend.
Coach Jay Johnson taking on the Bulldogs this weekend in the box. Cannot wait. It is going to be so much fun in the box. Go check it out. Tigers feeling good heading into this weekend. Coach, I know you're crazy busy, so thank you so much for joining us, man. You have an excellent day.
You got it. Have a great day.
Yes, sir. Beautiful background there too, with the stadium wall print. That is A1 Zoom background. We'll get some of these comments when we get back. Let's do a little Ask the Bench, okay? And we'll wrap up the show here on OTB.
OTB, OT.
CentralPlumbing.org, 925-8552. CentralPlumbing.org, 925-8552. Plumbing.org is the website. 925-8552 is the number, okay? And you can call that number whenever. 24/7 emergency service. I don't care if it's a weekend, weekday, holiday, whatever the case may be. Central Plumbing is there for you. So like, let's say you got anything, right? You got an old house with some plumbing issues, okay? Well, they got you. They get a new house with some plumbing issues. That sucks, right? It shouldn't have a new house. But if it does, look, they've been at it for 50 years. So they've seen it all, and they can fix it all. But I want to be clear, it's not just repairs. If you want a bathroom remodel, maybe you want to install a tankless water heater. I know Jake did with that many kids. It makes a lot of sense, right? Everybody using up the hot water. What if you had infinite hot water? You can get it all with Central Plumbing. So go to the place that's been at it for 5 decades. The Payne family, providing a painless process with flat rate pricing, great warranty coverage. Go to centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Turn my music high, 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 yeah. You don't know what you're doing. Sure I do. I'm from the streets where the hood can swallow on me. Bullets will follow on me. There's so much that you could run the slalom. And cops comb this top to bottom. They say that we are prone to violence, but it's home sweet home. Where personalities clash and chrome meets chrome. Prices up and down like this Wall Street.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m.
Jimmy Ott and Charles Henniger for the Thursday edition of Game Time, 6 to 8 p.m. from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank. Colucci time as well. That's Game Time, 6 to 8 p.m. Thursday from Walk-Ons on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Yeah. Miami. South Beach, bringing the heat. Can y'all feel that? Can y'all feel that? Jig it out, Here I am in the place where I come let go. In Miami, the base and the sunset low. Every day like a Mardi Gras. Everybody party all day. No work, all play. Okay?
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. See how Mario Taylor hanging out with Mario vibing right now. Getting jiggy with it.
Great song.
Is that what this is? This is getting jiggy with it, right?
No, this is Miami.
Oh, welcome to Miami. Miami.
Bienvenido a Miami.
I remember this song came out the year in which the Super Bowl was in Miami. And I grew up in Atlanta, and the Falcons made that Super Bowl to play the Broncos, so this was all over the place constantly.
Yeah, there was a Saints highlight tape with this song in the background in 2009, and I remember that video well.
Oh, well, that one was in Miami as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Huh.
Great memories in Miami.
Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Curse Light, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, and Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Sweet. Ask the Bench, how do T-Bob's Nike Blazers actually hold up? Well, they held up great for a long time. To be clear, that pair of white Blazers I've been wearing almost every day for like 2.5 years, probably 3 years almost. So, you know, that's a lot of, they've been through a lot, man. That's like, 300 to probably not about 270 on them like every single day, constantly. Ask the Bench. It's National Eat Whatever You Want Day. Ooh, what would you choose to eat? God, I don't need to hear that. Chinese food, duh, always and forever.
Cheese fries with bacon.
Boston cream pie.
Really?
Love Boston cream pie.
Out of anything.
I mean,
like
I'm not like
anything. You just
I'm
want
not like a
Boston cream
healthy
pie?
nut, so like I eat most things on a daily basis. But I do.
That's a very funny sentence. I eat most things on a daily basis.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll go get a cheeseburger, pizza, whatever. I'm not like dieting, but I do stay away from sweets.
You have great metabolism? How are you in such good shape then?
And I work out a lot, but I typically stay away from sweets more than I did. So if it's eat anything you want day, I would go towards the sweet category.
Okay. So if there is one thing you hold yourself
that
back
I hold
on.
myself back on, yeah, it would be that.
Okay. Hell yeah, dude. Let's see.
I have a question.
Yeah,
a
what you
very
got?
random one, and
Thank you, because I'm not seeing the other ones.
I've been
in chat
meaning
right
to
now.
ask Hester and Flynn, what are your memories of celebrating the 07 title? Like that night or that weekend, like what did y'all do to celebrate it? Or did you not celebrate it? Did you just chill and kind of enjoy the championship?
No, I had a bunch of family in town, and I partied with some teammates, but it was one of those weird situations, right, where you're in New Orleans, and so the upperclassmen are all 21.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a freshman, so you're not 21. So you can't really go with a vast majority of the team and go hang out.
You're in New Orleans, though. I mean, you're on the team.
No, but bro, they're checking IDs, I don't know. So I actually ended up just hanging out with a lot of family and a couple of the younger teammates and just trolling up and down Bourbon, hanging out, talking to people, LSU fans everywhere. I think we ended up at the Live Sex Acts Gentlemen's Club.
A Bourbon, yeah.
Sounds like a tame
you
night.
know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So you got into there being underage?
Yes. Yes.
But couldn't
allegedly.
roll with Hester and Flynn.
But is that, that's not the biggest surprise, I wouldn't say. Yeah, and I remember my wife just talking to the dance. They were just sitting there, and she just laid down on the stage, just talking, chatting up. She's like, I'm freezing. I was like, it seems like you're pretty cold, actually. I gave her all the money.
I was outside of Red Eye when Burrow was inside. They had a viral video in 2019. It was a madhouse, and it was honestly...
Yeah, that was crazy. Going straight to Red Eye was insanity.
Yes, he looked so cool, man.
He did. I mean, he literally had a hat that said BDJ on it, which is about as big a flex as you could do after that situation. I don't think we have any more Ask the Bench questions, boys.
Okay.
What about the what'd you put in here? Put in some links, Mar, that I wasn't prepared for here. I love people using the document. I'm sorry I missed this. What is this? You say Quad Bob's first
John Williams show. That was an old clip. I put that in there like last week. Maybe
really?
Maybe we can get it up. Don't need sound or anything. But somebody went to a concert. I'm not sure what concert it was. They brought their infant to the concert and just put the infant up on stage. Like whoever was performing on this stage had to get the infant out of there. And I said that's gonna be Quad Bob at his first ever.
God. Oh, it looks like a K-pop group, and they just straight up just put their baby on the stage.
Yes, I see it now.
I mean, good on them. Look, they got the singer to come over. They got that video they were looking for, dude.
He's just put a baby on the stage.
Yeah, hey, he's a star. Let him shine. Also, to be clear, I would never do that to J-Dubs. Okay, I have more respect than that.
How do you feel about infants at events in
I was
general?
going to say I would never bring a baby to a concert in general. That sounds awful for everybody. All for the baby, all for you. Like, even though, to be fair, that baby looked like it was loving it. Did you see the smile on that baby's face coming off the stage? Like, that baby was vibing with that K-pop group, whoever that was. You also have in here the Saints having an easy schedule, Mario, and that does make a bit of sense as what the NFL schedule is. Okay, so you play all your divisional opponents twice. That's gonna be 6 games. Then you play the team that finished where you finished in every other division, right? So I think you play you finished 3rd in division. You play all the other 3rd place finishers, and then you have an NFC an NFC division that you play top to bottom, and an AFC division that you play top to bottom. But I guess the point of all of this is that the Saints have a relatively easy schedule. Hey, go to RejuveMeMedical.com, restore me, refuel me, rejuve me. You want to feel younger, better, stronger. They got locations at Baton Rouge, Metairie, Slidell, now in Shreveport as well. Shout out to everybody listening up there in the 318. Go get your labs drawn. Figure out where your body's strong, where it's deficient, what you need. Maybe even catch some early medical issues. That's happening for it. The bottom line, get your labs drawn. Let's do some upkeep. Let's feel like our best self with Rejuve Me Medical. You all have a great day. We love you. We'll see you for Friday's show. Going to be a fun one.
OTB, OT.
There it is.